Chapter 151. Zapdos, Thunderbolt. Salamence, Dragon Breath. Wang Lu gave an order. Zapdos releases Thunderbolt and blasts Mega Beedrill. Salamence releases Dragon Breath, blasting at Mega Marsasaurus. In fact, Wang Lu's words did not specify an attack target for them, but because of the spiritual connection, they were able to understand the Lord's mind. Being able to understand the Pokémon under his command is the level of a top-notch trainer. Just have the stone. Or if your Pokémon happens to have the Bond Transform ability, you can use Mega Evolution or Bond Transform. Attack with the Destruction and Death Ray. Giovanni shouted in a deep voice. I saw Mega Beedrill releasing Thunderbolt and facing Zapdos Thunderbolt. As a result, he was instantly defeated by Thunderbolt, killing him instantly with one move. The other side. Mega Marsupial's destructive Death Ray collided with Salamence's Dragon Breath, and there was no winner. Amidst the horrific explosions, smoke and dust rose up, completely covering the battlefield. At this time, the entire battlefield was filled with white smoke, and there was no field of vision at all, but Wang Lu used the waveguide to see clearly. 04 Giga Impact. Wang Lu ordered again. Bang! The terrible explosion sounded again. When the smoke dissipates, I saw Beedrill and Bagosaurus both lying on the ground, completely unconscious. Even Giovanni, BA was fired by Zapdos Thunderbolt exhibition area. Beedrill, no, it should be Mega Beedrill that explodes a stone. Wang Lu picked it up and saw that it was a Mega Evolution Stone again, Drill's Mega Evolution Stone. Nowadays, Wang Lu has a total of 4 stones in his hand. Charizard XY Evolution Stone, Volcano Camel Evolution Stone, Marsupial Evolution Stone, Drillite. Except for the Charizard XY Evolution Stone, which is a reward for clearing the Flaming Mountain copy, the other 3 stones are all exploded from killing monsters. And even after defeating the Mega Evolution Pokémon, the corresponding stones will explode. Is this too coincidental? Wang Lu couldn't help but guess. Could it be that in the dungeon, as long as the Mega Evolution Pokémon is defeated, the corresponding Mega Evolution Stone can be exploded? Well, that must be the case. But the probability should not be 100%. After all, this time, I also defeated the Mega Marsupial, but did not explode the second Marsupial Stone. Wang Lu pondered in his heart. At the same time, a system prompt rang in my ear. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully clearing the copy of Mutuo Paradise and being rewarded with Psychic and Mutuo's XM Evolution Stone. This moment, Wang Lu felt that another extremely powerful ability was born in his body. And this ability is the Psychic that Wang Lu just obtained. With the birth of this Psychic, it quickly integrated with the other 3 abilities in Wang Lu's body. A total of 4 abilities are sublimated together. Power of Waveguide, the fighting energy of pets under his command is increased by 40%. Power of Dragon Control, the dragon energy of your pets is increased by 40%. Power of Vulcan, the flame energy of pets under his command is increased by 40%. Psychic, the psychic of your pets is increased by 40%. Wang Lu had predicted this kind of thing a long time ago and was not surprised at the moment. But what really surprised him was the stone rewarded by the system. Kameng's XY Evolution Stone. Mutuo is right in front of you, and the system rewards such an awesome stone. Wang Lu is naturally excited. At this time, Mutuo was still being crazily output by those 2 high-power intelligent machines, dying. It should have severed ties with Giovanni long ago. And Wang Lu had a Master Ball in his hand, but he didn't take the opportunity to strike. Because he knew that with an existence as strong as Mutuo, even Master Ball couldn't completely control it. Otherwise, Mutuo would not have escaped from Giovanni. Therefore, Wang Lu directly exploded the 2 machines, and the chest Mutuo was freed. When Mutuo collapsed from mid-air, Wang Lu also hurried forward to support Mutuo. Human, did you save me? Mutuo's weak voice sounded, it was Mutuo's own telepathy. Don't talk, you are very weak now. Wang Lu interrupted Mutuo, flew to the lake with Mutuo on his back, and put Mutuo into the lake. About 5 minutes later, Mutuo revived and resumed the peak contest condition. It landed quickly and stood in front of Wang Lu, and the telepathy sounded again, thank you, human. It was you who let me know that some human beings can also be trusted. Mutuo is made by humans, manipulated by humans, deep down, spite humans. And now, being rescued by human beings again, this has somewhat subtracted some of the spite in its heart, and at the same time it has also subtracted some of the dark and evil breath in its heart. How about Mutuo, would you like to follow me and be my partner? Wang Lu stretched out his hand and directly extended the invitation. Wang Lu just got psychic, has super affinity. But this super affinity may be very effective for normal psychic Pokémon, but for Mutuo, the effect is very normal. At this time, Wang Lu could clearly feel that the psychic in Mutuo was not inferior to himself in the slightest. For Mutuo, the presence of Wang Lu in front of him gave him an instant feeling of meeting the same kind. Yes, just the same kind, not elders or gods. Therefore, it is impossible for Mutuo to choose to surrender just because of this little affinity. I will not submit to anyone unless he can defeat me. Mutuo stared at Wang Lu and said proudly. Mutuo is a Pokémon born under the name of God of War. At least in its view, it is the strongest Pokémon. Even wisdom and means are not inferior to human beings. It will not surrender to anyone, unless someone can defeat it. Although Giovanni is its creator, Giovanni can't beat it at all. In its view, Giovanni obviously has no strength but wants to control himself, which is simply wishful thinking. Even if it dies, it will never make the city trapped. Okay, Zapdos, get ready to fight. Wang Lu decisively dispatched Zapdos. If it is Wang Lu himself, he can defeat Mutuo 100%. After all, Wang Lu possesses 4 divine powers, and one of them, psychic, is comparable to that of Mutuo, or even slightly stronger. If Wang Lu uses 4 abilities at the same time, then Mutuo is not rival at all. Of course, as a trainer, Wang Lu also has the self-esteem and bottom line of being a trainer, so naturally he will not end up parenting. Clang! Hearing this, Zapdos flew over in an instant, staring at Mutuo with a very strong fighting spirit in his eyes. Last time, Mutuo was controlled by a machine, just a puppet, and Zapdos had no interest in fighting it. But this time, looking at the real Mutuo, Zapdos is full of fighting spirit. Chapter 152 Zapdos, Golden Legend, Level 100 Master. Mutuo, 9-colored mythology, Level 91 Champion. Well, this big yellow bird has power far beyond ordinary Pokémon, and is qualified to be my rival. Mutuo glanced at Zapdos and nodded slightly. Immediately, he stretched out his hand and hooked his fingers to Zapdos, indicating that Zapdos could attack first. It's crazy. But this is Mutuo. Thunderbolt. Wang Lu was also polite and gave the order directly. I saw that Zapdos instantly cast Thunderbolt, and in the blink of an eye, that bolt of lightning came right in front of Mutuo. At this time, Mutuo didn't see any movement, and a blue barrier automatically appeared around him, easily blocking Zapdos' Thunderbolt. Immediately, Mutuo stretched out his finger to Zapdos, and normally fired one after another aura sphere like a cannonball, blasting towards Zapdos continuously. Detect. With Wang Lu's order, Zapdos' eyes instantly became sharp, and he detected all the movement trajectories of aura sphere in an instant. At the same time, Zapdos' figure flashed in mid-air, avoiding all the aura spheres continuously. Bang 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 bang! One by one aura spheres exploded on the surrounding mountain walls, destroying the mountains and causing a storm of smoke and dust. That power is extremely terrifying. Thunderbolt. With Wang Lu's order, Zapdos sent out another Thunderbolt, blasting towards Mutuo. However, this time, just as the Thunderbolt was about to hit Mutuo, Mutuo's figure suddenly disappeared from the spot, making the Thunderbolt miss automatically. Teleport. Next moment, Mutuo suddenly appeared in front of Zapdos. The speed made Zapdos shocked and terrified. I saw Mutuo blasting out with a palm, hitting Zapdos's body fiercely, and the strong shock wave exploded on Zapdos' body suddenly, blowing Zapdos away far away. This is Force Palm, a low-level fighting skill, its power can only be called normal. But this skill was released by Mutuo, powerful, but very abnormal. Looking at the miserable appearance of Zapdos, Wang Lu was also extremely horrified in his heart. Mutuo's move is Force Palm, that is, Zapdos. If it is replaced by my other Pokémon, I am afraid that all of them will not be able to bear it. Mutuo's figure disappeared again, and teleported again. This time, Mutuo suddenly appeared behind Zapdos, raised its slender and powerful tail, attached the power of Orberg, and once again pulled Zapdos away. The skill teleport is extremely mana-consuming. Normal Pokémon, it is difficult to use continuously. However, for Mewtwo, this level of depletion is completely innocuous. In my opinion, even if it teleports 100 times in a row, there is no big problem. Wang Lu secretly thought. Just as Wang Lu struggled with this problem, Mewtwo continued to use teleport, continuously inflicting heavy damage on Zapdos. This. Wang Lu secretly clicked his tongue while watching. As expected of Mewtwo, compared to normal Pokémon, its power is indeed much stronger. And Mewtwo is anything but powerful. It also has independent thinking and extraordinary wisdom. These 2 points are absolutely incomparable to ordinary Pokémon. Move, Zapdos! Don't be afraid of its speed, know that your speed is also very fast. The moment you discover it, use Thunderbolt. With Wang Lu's order, the powerful waveguide magnetic field instantly covered the entire battlefield. Next. Even if Mewtwo uses teleport, Wang Lu will immediately lock on the coordinates where it reappears. At the same time, it will also be sent to Zapdos. Teleport. A whoosh sound. Mewtwo's figure disappeared again, and instantly appeared in front of Zapdos, punching the doctor directly. This time, it's Fire Punch. However, this time, Zapdos reacted and fired a thunderbolt, blasting Mewtwo at it. Boom! A terrifying explosion sounded. Mewtwo and Zapdos were both severely injured and flew out at the same time. Next, Mewtwo continued teleport and shot continuously. However, Zapdos also reacted time and time again, releasing Thunderbolt to confront it. 5 minutes passed. Under such a fast-paced offensive, they fought continuously for 5 minutes. Mewtwo and Zapdos, these two Pokémon, have scars all over their bodies. And they were all very tired and out of breath. Mewtwo is also far more tired than expected. It underestimated the consumption of teleport. Under such a high frequency of teleportation, Mewtwo also consumes a lot of psychic. At this time, in addition to being out of breath, I was also a little depressed. Zapdos, on the other hand, became more and more courageous as he fought. Although he was injured all over his body, the thunder and lightning wrapped around his body became more and more powerful. Chi! Suddenly, a thunder electromagnetic field that is not inferior to the waveguide magnetic field suddenly emanates from Zapdos' body. It shouldn't be called lightning electromagnetic field, it should be called lightning field. Because the magnetic field is invisible and phaseless, although it does exist, it cannot be seen or touched. However, this lightning field is visible to the naked eye. Boom! At this moment, the island sky was instantly shrouded in dark clouds with lightning and thunder. Even in the air, there were flashes of golden thunder and lightning, which was frightening. Clang! Zapdos shouted excitedly, and his momentum surged, faintly surpassing Wang Lu. Wang Lu couldn't help being stunned. What's going on here? His Zapdos has clearly reached level 100. Why can its power continue to break through? TB. A breakthrough of this level in Zapdos is not just a simple upgrade, it has definitely crossed another level. Ding! Zapdos has been upgraded. The current level is 101, God's Domain. As the system prompts sounded in his ears, Wang Lu couldn't help but be stunned. Level 101, God's Domain. This. It turns out that level 100 is not the full level at all. Master level, the West is not the end at all. Realm of God, what the hell is this? Just when Wang Lu was confused, the system appeared again and answered Wang Lu's questions. Back to the host, the so-called God's Domain, Good Zhao, is the realm of God. Only when you reach this level can you be considered a divine beast in the true sense. If you release the realm of God, you will have supreme power. Even the most common Pokémon, once it reaches this level, will be far more powerful than the normal legendary Pokémon. After the system explained it, Wang Lu understood instantly. Realm is realm, bloodline is bloodline, it cannot be generalized. Such as epics, legends, and even myths. Those are all powerful bloodlines, and such Pokémon are born with extremely powerful talents and qualifications. But the level and realm still have to be climbed up step by step, and promoted step by step. Level 1 Zapdos, is that a mythical beast? It can be said that it is a spear, or it can be said that it is not a spear. It is said that it is because it does have the blood of a mythical beast. But level 1 Zapdos, no matter how strong it is. Not to mention Zapdos at level 1, even Zapdos at level 100 have not mastered the true power of the beast. Namely, the realm of the gods. Chapter 153. The field that Zapdos has just comprehended is the field of lightning. Because Zapdos has reached the full level of 100, after comprehending the domain, he broke through directly and reached the level of a real beast. That is, level 101. Just at this moment, its thunder and lightning domain was upgraded to the thunder god domain. All of a sudden, dark clouds covered soaring in the sky completely darkened, and thunder roared violently. In the air, there seemed to be golden brontosaurus visible to the naked eye, rolling and roaring. How terrifying is this power? Wang Lu was horrified. At this time, the power of Zapdos faintly surpassed him. And that thunder god domain faintly surpassed his divine power and magnetic field. Now it's Zapdos who is manipulating Thor's realm. What about a Caterpie? What if it was a Caterpie manipulating the realm of the gods? Wang Lu believes that it is still very strong and possesses the power of Kashmir. The system says, even the most ordinary Pokémon, once it reaches the realm of the gods, its strength will far exceed the normal legendary Pokémon. At this time, Wang Lu is convinced. Of course, normal's Pokémon are too weak, and the growth rate is too slow, it is difficult, or even impossible to reach that level. The reason why the divine beast is called a divine beast is also said to be 300 methods. Because they have strong blood and grow fast. Compared with normal Pokémon, they do have a better chance of becoming real beasts. Or, their ancestors were real divine beasts, so they are the descendants of divine beasts, and naturally have bloodlines comparable to divine beasts. Zapdos. Attribute, electricity plus flying. Level 101 divine beast. Qualification, Golden Legend. Domain, Thor's domain. In the Thor's domain, Zapdos's power has been increased unprecedentedly, and the lightning energy is increased by 100%. Moreover, the Thor's domain will continuously cause lightning damage to enemy Pokémon, and has a certain chance to cause paralysis. Skill. Glancing at the attribute panel of Zapdos, Wang Lu's heart skipped a beat. This Thor domain, or the domain of God, is really too strong. It turned out to be a 100% increase. To know. Even if Wang Lu fused the 4 kinds of divine power now, he could only increase by 40%. It is clear at a glance which is strong and which is weak. Zapdos, are only now truly at the level of gods. And Wang Lu, including Mewtwo, is at best a demigod now. At this time, Zapdos thought for a moment. In the entire, Ephi, Thunder God domain, more than a dozen violent thunderbolts fell instantly, and with a loud bang, they slammed on Mewtwo's body fiercely. This is more than 5 thunderbolts. Under the bone-deep pain, King Mewtwo couldn't help roaring. When the thunder and lightning dissipate, Mewtwo half-kneeled in the void, panting violently. I saw that it was almost covered with scars all over its body. There are still several electric arcs flickering all over his body, which is obviously in a paralyzed contest condition. Mewtwo, you lost. A boy's voice sounded in the air. This is telepathy, Zapdos telepathy. Zapdos didn't know telepathy at first, but after breaking through to the realm of God's domain, he automatically comprehended it. As for the boy's voice, that's right, this Zapdos Wang Lu is still just a teenager, but it's already so scary. Hearing this, Mewtwo stared wide-eyed, full of disbelief in his eyes. How can this be? In this world, there is actually a stronger Pokémon than yourself. Mewtwo didn't believe it. However, the pain all over his body, as well as this tired body, are undoubtedly the ironclad evidence of its defeat. I lost. Mewtwo tried his best to stand upright, looked at Wang Lu, and looked at Zapdos, with a look of approval in his eyes. Go, Pokémon Ball! Wang Lu understood instantly, took out the Master Ball and threw it out. Now that Mewtwo is approved, it doesn't matter what Pokémon Ball you use. Using Luxury Ball, even the most common red and white Poke Ball, can also be subdued. But Wang Lu still uses the Master Ball, which is a kind of respect. It's God of War Mewtwo after all. Once it also reaches the realm of gods, then it is still one of the invincible GE beings of the same level. After subduing Mewtwo, Wang Lu put Mutuo in the lake again to let it heal itself. At the same time, Wang Lu also released all the friends. The spring of this world can be called a treasure of heaven and earth. Of course, everyone should enjoy such a good thing together. Watching the little friends playing in the lake, Wang Lu couldn't help but relax. 10 minutes later, Wang Lu went offline to rest. 8 o'clock the next morning. In the Immortal Fire Gym, Xiaoju and Xiao Shizhen came to kick the gym on time with a group of subordinates. This gymnasium, our young masters Xiaoju and Xiao Shizhen have taken a fancy to it. Sensible, get out. The group of subordinates brought by Xiaoju and Xiao Shizhen are also elite trainers, and there are many elite and high-level powerhouses among them. They made a strong move, and quickly overthrew all the disciples of the Xianmi Gym. As for Zhao Hongii and Cao Lai, Xiao Shizhen personally acted. Good. With the improvement of strength. Now, Cao Lai has also become an important role in this Immortal Fire Gym. Unfortunately, the combination of him and Zhao Hongii is far from Xiao 12's rival. Being pierced by Xiao Shizanyi and 12, it ended in a disastrous defeat. Haha, hurry up and get out. From now on, this gymnasium will be the gymnasium of our young master Xiao. What Fairy Fire Gymnasium? Damn! This name is too ugly. That's right, Immortal Fire Gym, this name is too ugly, it will damage the prestige of our young master Xiao. Blastwaz, use the hydro pump, destroy that plaque. There was a loud bang sound. The plaque of Xian Huo Daoguan fell to the ground and shattered. All the disciples of Cerulean Gym were extremely ashamed and indignant, but their strength was weak, but they had already been kicked out. Hong Yi, Cao Lai, what should we do now? Could it be that the gymnasium is handed over like this? Then how can we face Master and his old man? Hateful, the people of the Xiao family are too presumptuous. Damn, that's right. If our master wasn't seriously injured and hospitalized, would they dare to come and kick the hall? The entrance of the Immortal Fire Gym. A group of former gymnasium disciples gathered together, filled with righteous indignation, reluctant to leave. After struggling for 10 minutes, Zhao Hongii and Cao Lai finally decided to ask Wang Lu for help. Originally, this was a matter of their own gymnasium, and had nothing to do with Wang Lu. They shouldn't have disturbed Wang Lu's rest. However, they really had no other choice, and they really couldn't bear to let this hard-working gymnasium be ruined by those from the Xiao family. Zhao Hongii and Cao Lai came to Tianhu Laboratory to find Wang Lu. As long as Wang Lu is at home, he will go to the laboratory every day. The detached villa of Wang Lu's family, although it can be regarded as a mansion, has an independent yard. However, the yard is still too small to compare with the laboratory's built-in garden. Chapter 154. There is such a thing? Go, I will help you find the place. Zhao Hongii and Cao Lai were overjoyed by Wang Lu's statement. Subsequently, Wang Lu then drove the Charizard X, carrying Zhao Hongii, Cao Lai, Rufeng Normal, to the entrance of the Immortal Fire Gym. At this time, it was already full of people. Not only the former gym disciples were reluctant to leave. There were even some lively passers-by who gathered around. Wang Lu. Seeing Zhao Hongii and Cao Lai bringing Wang Lu to the gymnasium disciples, they were immediately delighted. In the past few days, they also watched this year's Xianyuan Youth Cup. They are well aware of Wang Lu's strength. What's more, even Xiao Shizhen is nothing more than Wang Lu's defeated general. Now that Wang Lu is calling the shots for them, do they need to be afraid? Then, a group of people, headed by Wang Lu, walked in mightily. When Xiao Shizhen saw Wang Lu coming, he was shocked. Wang Lu, what are you doing here? My Xiao family is doing business, so be sensible, get out of here. Xiao Shizhen's words were 3 parts frightened and 7 parts confident. Yes. His Xiao Shizhen's strength is not as good as Wang Lu's. But no matter what, he, Xiao Shizhen, is also a descendant of the Xiao family. He didn't believe that Wang Lu had no power, and dared to oppose the Xiao family? What's the matter with me? He. Wang Lu smiled slightly, pointed to Zhao Hongii and said, this beauty is my senior sister. Pointing to Cao Lai again, he said, this hedgehog is my younger brother. You said, you are here to play games and find faults, does it have anything to do with me? Wang Lu sneered, and his eyes turned cold, besides, with your power trip attitude, I'm going to let you crawl out today. You. Xiao Shizhen was anxious and dumbfounded. To know. He now represents the Xiao family. He never expected that on such an occasion, Wang Lu would dare to tear himself apart with him. Good boy, you dare to talk to our young master Xiao like this, you are simply tired of your life. Brothers, let's go together and kill him. Seeing that Xiao Shizhen's momentum was suppressed, all his subordinates jumped out immediately and sent out their own Pokémon. Nidoking. Blastoise. Golem. Feraligatr. All elite level, each is not a simple role. Big Red, press Brick Break. Wang Lu directly dispatched Da Hong with an order. I saw. The Big Red instantly turned into a red afterimage, passing by the enemy Pokémon, a pair of wings emitted a strong white light, and slashed wildly. In just a second or two, those elite-level Pokémon were all killed without even seeing Da Hong's figure clearly. Bang bang bang! The huge, seemingly very powerful Pokémon fell down one after another. Ah! Is this fighting Zapdos? It's so powerful! All the subordinates of the Xiao family were taken aback, and retreated again and again, not daring to fight. Perhaps they have a certain strength on the outside. However, in front of Wang Lu, he is not even a fart. More than a dozen people, one of them was beat up, and they were instantly killed by them. How can they still play with a hammer? Good, so strong. Zhao Hongii, Cao Lai, including a group of gym disciples, were surprised and delighted. At this time, they believed that as long as they had Wang Lu's help, they would be able to regain the gymnasium. Wang Lu. Xiao Ju stared at Wang Lu, and said threateningly, you can think clearly, you are now an enemy of our entire Xiao family. Xiao Ju's imposing manner was very strong, and his words made the hearts of countless people tremble. However, Wang Lu ignored it and ordered Da Hong again, Brick Break. Wave Guide Surges. Da Hong's whole body was shaken, and a strong white light emitted from his wings, and he slashed towards Xiao Shizhen. Xiao Shizhen was shocked instantly. Wang Lu said just now that he should crawl out. Only now did he realize that Wang Lu was not joking, everything he said was true. Arrogance. You simply don't take me seriously. Xiao Ju was furious and directly sent out the trump card Banjara, Mega Impact. Bangala's whole body flashed with golden light, and it collided hard with Da Hong, causing smoke and dust to rise. Da Hong and Bangala both flew out upside down, the soles of their feet plowed out paths of ember on the ground. Banjara, Golden Epic, Level 78 Quasi-Elite. Big Red, Golden Legend, Level 71 Quasi-Elite. But Da Hong quickly stabilized his figure, while Bangala retreated all the way, and finally fell heavily to the ground. This means that the power of these two Pokémon is not at the same level at all. Hiss, so strong! Looking at the scene of Bangala falling in embarrassment, Xiao Ju's heart skipped a beat, she couldn't believe it. He is 1 year older than Xiao Shizhen, and his strength is also stronger. But he didn't expect that even he was not Wang Lu's rival. Blaze Kick! Wang Lu ordered coldly. Da Hong made a move of Blaze Kick, kicking Xiao Shizhen fiercely. Xiao Shizhen was kicked to the ground in an instant, turning into a burning man. Xiao Shizhen let out a miserable growl like killing a pig, and at the same time frantically rolled out on the ground in order to put out the fire. All the subordinates of the Xiao family also went up to help. Although it saved Xiao Shizhen's life. But at this time, Xiao Shizhen had also passed out, and his whole body was burnt to a horrible degree. Awesome! Cao Lai and a group of gym disciples relieved their hatred in their hearts and shouted awesome. As for, they didn't have the slightest sympathy for Xiao Shizhen's tragic situation. Since Xiao Shizhen dared to come to kick the gym, no matter what price he paid, he was not worthy of sympathy. You know, kicking the hall is equivalent to slapping the face, let alone being maimed, even if it is killed, that is a very normal thing. And this kind of thing is different from normal fights, so the Alliance and the police are not easy to intervene. Get out! If you dare to come again, this Xiao Shizhen will be your fate. Looking coldly at Xiao Ju and the others, Wang Lu spoke lightly. Although the tone was flat, it contained the threat of Qi Kuo. Xiao Ju's face suddenly felt a little uneasy. However, when he thought of Wang Lu's terrifying strength, he didn't dare to attack at all, so he could only swallow his anger. Walk! Xiao Ju snorted coldly, led a group of people, supported Xiao Shizhen, and left the scene in embarrassment. Long live! It's taken back. Here, it's still our gym. Thank you very much, Tian Da. After the Xiao family left, a group of gym disciples, including Zhao Hong'ai and Cao Lai, immediately looked at Wang Lu gratefully and thanked him repeatedly. It's okay, it's a trivial matter. Wang Lu waved his hand lightly and left gracefully. Zhao Hong'ai ordered his disciples to repair the gymnasium. But she herself came to the hospital and told Li Yanjun the ins and outs of the matter. Hong Yi, you are not Xiao family's rival at all. Today, with Wang Lu helping you find your place, what about tomorrow? What about the day after tomorrow? When Li Yanjun spoke, Zhao Hong'ai fell silent instantly. She now sees her strength clearly. Not to mention the Xiao family, even if some elite and high-level trainers came to kick the gym, she and Cao Lai, including a group of gym disciples, could not stop them at all. Once or twice, they can go to Wang Lu for help. However, there are too many times, why should Wang Lu help them? Chapter 155. At this time, Zhao Hong'ai deeply felt that his strength was insufficient. Xianhuo Gymnasium is a high-end gymnasium. However, except for the gym owner Li Yanjun, the Fairy Fire Gym from top to bottom, from her as the gym trainer, to the normal disciples, the strength is too weak. It is obviously a high-end gym, but compared with ordinary gyms, there is almost no difference. Actually, this is mainly because, as the owner of the gym, Li Yanjun is like a dragon. He usually sees the dragon but not its tail, and lacks management of the gym. For disciples, there is even a lack of training. Seriously. It is true that Li Yanjun is very strong, but as a gym leader, he is indeed extremely incompetent. Of course, as a disciple, Zhao Hong'ai did not dare to blame the master. Even Zhao Hong'ai, who has a well-behaved personality, has never even thought about it like this. She thinks that her talent is dull and she cannot help her master with her 2, 3, 7 abilities. Master, what do you think we should do? Are we really going to give up on the gym? Zhao Hong'ai looked anxious. If it would be good for Li Yanjun to hand over the gymnasium to others. However, if someone kicked her out of the gym and took it away, she would feel that she was so sorry for her master, and even more sorry for her status as a gym trainer. No need now. Li Yanjun smiled and said, since that little brother Wang Lu is so strong, in my opinion, let him be the leader of the Xianmi gym. Governor? Make Wang Lu the gym master. Zhao Hong'ai was startled when he heard this. Wang Lu, who is only 18 years old this year, is the head of the gymnasium? This is unbelievable. Looking at Zhao Hong'ai's shocked face, Li Yanjun said, why, do you think he is not worthy? Zhao Hong'ai thought about it seriously and then said, it matches. It's more than enough. She knows that Wang Lu owns Zapdos and Celebi. Especially Zapdos, before, easily defeated Mirong Bai's trump card Dragonite. Just because Wang Lu owns those two powerful beasts, not to mention the owner of the pavilion, even if he is an elite, Wang Lu should be able to do it, right? Of course. She also knows that Zapdos and Celebi are Wang Lu's hidden trump cards, which cannot be easily exposed. Therefore, she didn't say much to Li Yanjun. Isn't that enough? Give the gymnasium to capable young people, and be a teacher and be happy. Li Yanjun laughed loudly, and said to Zhao Hong'ai, help me up, I will go find that little brother myself. Zhao Hong'ai wondered, Master, you are injured, I should go to Qing Wang Lu and come here. No. Li Yanjun interrupted solemnly, and continued, since we have something to ask for, we naturally have to pay a visit in person. Asking for help from others. The corner of Zhao Hong'ai's mouth twitched when he heard the words, and he complained in his heart, Master, you are really begging someone to replace you as the museum owner, you are too irresponsible. Li Yanjun sat on the wheelchair, Zhao Hong'ai pushed the wheelchair to Tianhu Laboratory, and found Wang Lu. The owner of the gymnasium? Me. But senior, this is the only fire Pokémon I have. Wang Lu smiled slightly and released Rapidash. Although, he also has a Moltres which is also a fire Pokémon. But Moltres is a divine beast after all, so it is not easy to expose it easily. Li Yanjun smiled and said, what does that matter? As long as you are the owner of the gym, you can apply to the alliance to modify the attribute of the gym. Fire type, water type, grass type, electricity type. Even, there is no specific attribute, and it doesn't matter. What Li Yanjun said was very salation, just like him, making Zhao Hong'ai roll his eyes. It is clear. In order to dump the gymnasium to Wang Lu, Li Yanjun has been a bit unscrupulous. Li Yanjun bewitched, besides, if you are the head of the gymnasium, you will have a high social status, without any restrictions, but there are many benefits. Oh? What's the benefit? Wang Lu was startled and asked curiously. Ahem. Li Yanjun coughed twice in embarrassment upon hearing this. To be honest, he has served as the gymnasium owner for so many years, and he has not found any benefits for the gymnasium owner. Status? He, Li Yanjun, was once an elite. Even if he retired, he would not need a gym leader to embellish his status. The salary of a gym leader is really high. An ordinary library owner gets a salary of 1 million a month. Senior library owner, a monthly salary of tens of millions. However, he, Li Yanjun, is not short of money. According to Wang Lu. Li Yanjun glanced at Wang Lu's luxurious and cool supercar Charizardex parked in front of the laboratory. Li Yanjun knew that Wang Lu was definitely not the owner of money. For him, money certainly has no captivating power. Well, this. The gym leader has absolute authority. Whatever you say, everyone in the gym, from the gym trainers to the gym disciples, must abide by it. For example, after you become the gym leader, if you want to marry Hong Yi as your wife, I think Hong Ro will not refuse. Li Yanjun has no bottom line at all. In order to pass the position of owner of the hall to Wang Lu, he even used his good disciple as bait. Really? Wang Lu couldn't help but look at Zhao Hong'ai when he heard this. At this moment, Zhao Hong'ai's eyes met Wang Lu's, and Zhao Hong'ai blushed to the ears instantly. She quickly looked away from her flustered gaze, looked at Li Yanjun and said angrily, "Master, what nonsense are you talking about?" "Haha, am I talking nonsense?" Seeing Zhao Hong'ai's rare shy and panicked look, Li Yanjun laughed loudly, becoming more convinced of his inner thoughts. "Hong'ai, you must like this boy. What's the matter? If you like it, just say it out loud. Don't worry, I have never had any children in my life. You are my only direct disciple, just like my old granddaughter. Normal, are you still afraid that you are not good enough for him?" After Li Yanjun finished speaking, Zhao Hong'ai's pretty face turned even redder with embarrassment, and she did not dare to look at Wang Lu at all. Kerd. Li Yanjun looked at Wang Lu again, and said with a smile, "How about little brother, as long as you are willing to be the head of my gym, I can be the master and betroth Hong'ai to you." "Yes, I promise you." Wang Lu nodded. Zhao Hong'ai was surprised and happy when he heard this. He couldn't believe it. He was even more shy and didn't dare to raise his head to face Wang Lu. 2.1. Wang Lu has always been accompanied by beauties like Mirong Shuet. Zhao Hong'ai never expected. Next to Wang Lu, there is an outstanding woman like Mirong Shuet, but she still likes him. Now knowing that Wang Lu also likes her, Zhao Hong'ai is completely satisfied. She didn't dare to expect anything extravagantly, and she didn't dare to fight for any status. As long as Wang Lu likes her, she will be a servant by Wang Lu's side, and she can always accompany Wang Lu and serve Wang Lu. She was already satisfied. Okay. Li Yanjun didn't know what Zhao Hong'ai was thinking, and didn't know that Zhao Hong'ai was so humble in front of Wang Lu. All he saw was that Wang Lu and Zhao Hong'ai were in love with each other, and they hit it off, so he pushed Zhao Hong'ai towards Wang Lu. Wang Lu quickly caught it, and said with a smile, "Senior sister, you will be my man from now on." Chapter 156. After saying that, Wang Lu leaned over and kissed Zhao Hong'ai. Zhao Hong'ai was even more shy and couldn't help herself. "Little brother, these two old guys are my most trusted trump card. As long as you can gain their approval, I guarantee that even the Xiao family will not dare to touch you easily." After that, Li Yanjun took out 2 luxury balls and wanted to give them to Wang Lu. In their circle of elite trainers, there is a very popular saying, that is, there are all ants under the field. Only elite can compete with elite. There is a huge gap between quasi-elite and elite. To become an elite trainer recognized by Alliance, you must have at least 2 elite-level Pokémon. As for alliances for elites, although there are no clear requirements, they are chosen by those who are capable. However, those people, including the former 4 elites, all started as elites. A few trump cards have to reach the championship level. The Xiao family is vast and powerful, but there are very few elite trainers in the Xiao family. And even if he is normal's elite trainer, Li Yanjun will not take him seriously, nor will his 2 trump cards. Therefore, he has the confidence to dare to say such wild words. 04. Li Yanjun never expected that Wang Lu would refuse. No. Without the help of seniors, the Xiao family can't touch me. Wang Lu hugged his senior sister and Tian Fen said confidently. Li Yanjun was startled when he heard this, then frowned and said, "Little brother, sometimes being young and frivolous is not a good thing. Since you agreed to be the gym leader, you have to carry a certain amount of responsibility on your shoulders. If even the gym leader is kicked out of the gym, then the entire gym will be shamed because of you." Li Yanjun became more and more severe as he spoke, which made Wang Lu quite unhappy. He respected Li Yanjun as senior Hong Ai's master, so he called him senior. Otherwise, it's just the old man normal who is being evil. "You bad old man, why are you lecturing in front of me? Maybe you will bring shame to the gym, but I will definitely not. Now that I have decided to be the gym leader, that gym will only become stronger and stronger. Become the strongest gym in Huaxia, or even the world's mightiest gym." Wang Lu stared at Li Yanjun and said proudly. Wang Lu was extremely arrogant and did not hold back at all when faced with Li Yanjun, a former Elite Four. "What an arrogant boy, I hope you are really strong, otherwise, I will take my life back. After all, I will never trust an incompetent person who can only roar and leave the gym in his hands." After that, Li Yanjun turned on the switch of a luxury ball in his hand because of his serious injury and stiff limbs. It was extremely difficult for him to lift his arms. There was a flash of white light, and a huge Charizard flew out from it and landed heavily on Li Yanjun's field. This Charizard is over 2.5 meters long, extremely huge. Its eyes were extremely arrogant, almost arrogant. No wonder Li Yanjun didn't dare to give it to Zhao Hong'ai. With Zhao Hong'ai's current level, it is almost impossible to gain its recognition. Charizard. Attribute Fire plus Flying. Level 92 Champion. Qualification, Golden Epic. There is no doubt that this is a totem Charizard, extremely rare and extremely powerful. Its bloodline strength is comparable to, or even surpasses, that of normal's excellent quasi-gods. Not to mention, its level is extremely high, it has actually reached level 92, the championship level. 1v1, kid, you don't need to defeat it. As long as you hold on for 1 minute, I will consider you to have passed the test. Li Yanjun looked at Wang Lu and smiled lightly. Need not. If I don't defeat it within 1 minute, it will be considered as my defeat, and it will also prove that I am not worthy of being the leader of the museum. Wang Lu smiled proudly. Okay. Staring into Wang Lu's eyes, Li Yanjun couldn't help but smile when he saw that there was no fear in Wang Lu's eyes when facing his extremely powerful totem Charizard. Li Yanjun is old and sophisticated, and he is very accurate in judging people. You know, his totem Charizard is extremely powerful. And at this time, totem Charizard's momentum has not calmed down at all. However, Wang Lu is not afraid, this is not a pretense. At least, this kid has an extremely powerful spirit and extremely strong mental power, no less than a normal elite trainer. Li Yanjun secretly commented that he admired Wang Lu's courage. In this battle, even if trump card loses, he is willing to give Wang Lu another chance. After all, there are not many talents like Wang Lu who are so young and so defiant. Master Ball. Li Yanjun was shocked when Wang Lu took out the Master Ball. Immediately, Wang Lu threw the Master Ball directly, and Mutuo appeared. Mutuo's kingly aura instantly enveloped the entire battlefield, surprising both Li Yanjun and Zhao Hong'ai. Totem Charizard opposite could not help but widen his eyes, staring at Mutuo, with eyes full of disbelief. For Charizard. The Mutuo on the opposite side is a Pokémon it has never seen before, and it is also the strongest Pokémon it has ever seen in its life. And, none of them. Little brother, what kind of Pokémon is this? Li Yanjun had never seen Mutuo before, and was stunned for a moment. Actually, it's not surprising that he doesn't know Mutuo. After all, Mutuo in the original book, including in Wang Lu's copy of the system, is a killing machine created by the boss of Team Rocket, Giovanni, using Muse genes, including some dark energy and evil energy. In the real world where Wang Lu lives, there is no telling whether there are any talented careerists like Giovanni. Even if it does exist, where are Mew's genes? To know. In this world, Pokémon originated from secret realms and ancient ruins, and people have done less research on Pokémon 197 than in the original work. People in this world may know Mew, but they definitely don't know the existence of Mewtwo. So for this world, Mewtwo is not just rare, but the only one. Almost impossible to replicate. Mew gene plus genius careerist. These 2 points are indispensable. Different worlds and different trajectories, how can it be such a coincidence and meet those 2 conditions? Although Wang Lu's ancient pterosaur is extremely rare, it may now be the only one in the world. However, in theory, as long as one condition is met, Aerodactyl absorbs the huge dragon breath energy, and can activate the ancient bloodline, return to primal, reverse evolution, and become an ancient dragon. Maybe, in some corner of this world, there are other ancient pterosaurs. Mewtwo's kingly aura is too strong. At this time, in the research room, Wang Hongguang, Tian Hui, and a group of researchers also ran out. They looked at Mewtwo, their mouths wide open, all shocked. At this time, Wang Lu was hugging Zhao Hongyi, and Tian Hui clearly discovered this detail. In the past, she would have been ecstatic, thinking that her stupid son had finally figured it out. But now, she just stared at Mewtwo in a daze. She never expected that her son would get a new variety. Chapter 157. And this new breed is too domineering. The figure is suspended in the air, full of kingly aura. Even a fool would know that it is very strong, and it must not be underestimated. My name is Mewtwo, and I am an existence beyond Mew. A deep, even somewhat majestic voice sounded in the field. Telepathy. Li Yanjun, Zhao Hongyi, Wang Hongguang and his wife, including everyone present, were all shocked. Pokémon that use telepathy, there are few weaklings. But in fact, telepathy does not represent strength, but a symbol of wisdom. Being able to use telepathy at least shows that they fully understand human language. For Pokémon, this is how terrible and how wise. Beyond Mew. Hearing this, everyone was shocked again. To know. Mew is the magical Pokémon, the originator of all Pokémon. Beyond Mew, so it's called Mewtwo. This name is awesome. Tisk tisk, little brother, this Pokémon of yours is really amazing. Staring at Mewtwo, Li Yanjun clicked his tongue in amazement, and said with a smile, but now I'm even more curious about how much power it has. Charizard, oh! Flamethrower! Roar! Charizard let out a loud roar, and sprayed out an incomparably huge flame from his mouth. If the fire dragon was normal, it roared and slammed towards Mewtwo viciously. Facing Charizard's attack, Wang Lu smiled lightly. Because of his confidence in Mewtwo, he didn't even bother to give orders. Really? Just as the fire dragon came, a blue barrier appeared around Mewtwo, easily blocking the crazily roaring fire dragon. What a solid defense! Li Yanjun praised in his heart, and shouted at Charizard, rush over, fire punch! Finished talking. With a movement of Charizard's huge figure, with a gust of wind, he came to Mewtwo in a flash. I saw crimson flames emanating from the edge of its fist. However, just as it was about to punch Mewtwo, it found that Mewtwo suddenly disappeared from where it was. Teleport. Li Yanjun was taken aback, and Charizard was also taken aback. Use Force Palm. Following Wang Lu's order, Mewtwo suddenly appeared behind Charizard. At the same time, he slapped Charizard hard on the back. The strong shockwave exploded, and there was a loud bang. That powerful force blasted Charizard out fiercely. Ho! Charizard then screamed in pain. It has reached the realm of a champion, and its physical strength is naturally extremely terrifying. However, Mewtwo's attack was too powerful and still caused him heavy losses. Teleport, Aura Sphere. Wang Lu ordered again. With a sound of, Mewtwo teleported to Charizard's back, and a super large jade spiral pill popped out of his hand, smashing hard on Charizard's body. With a bang, Charizard fell heavily to the ground, his eyes closed tightly, and he passed out completely. Li Yanjun couldn't help being stunned when he saw that his strongest trump card Charizard was hit twice. Mewtwo, this Pokémon is really scary. Li Yanjun re-evaluated Mewtwo, and at the same time re-evaluated Wang Lu. Brother Wang Lu, since he can command Mutuo, his strength is also unfathomable. The young are better than the old. Now is really the age of young people. Li Yanjun sighed secretly in his heart and looked at Wang Lu with his eyes full of admiration. Little brother Wang Lu, from now on the gym, and Hong Ai, I'll leave it all to you. Looking at Wang Lu, Li Yanjun smiled happily. Wang Lu nodded, let go of Zhao Hong Ai, and said with a smile, Sister, I will prepare today and move there tomorrow. Don't call me senior sister, just call me Hong Ai. Facing Wang Lu's gaze, Zhao Hong Ai blushed and said shyly. After that, Zhao Hong Ai pushed Li Yanjun away. Okay, silly boy, can you take care of Hong Yi so quickly? Tian Hui walked over with a smile on her face, patted Wang Lu on the shoulder, and said with a smile, Come on, son, let me hug a big fat boy as soon as possible. Wang Lu couldn't help but said speechlessly, Mom, I'm only 18 years old. I'm not in a hurry to have a child, am I? Tian Hui scolded, what do you know? It's difficult for your old Wang family to have children for 3 generations. You are young now, so you have to work even harder. After finally getting rid of his mother's teachings, Wang Lu took back Mutuo and drove his supercar back to his villa. Then, directly enter the copy, Dragon Nest. What Wang Lu calls preparation is not to prepare luggage. He moved over and lived directly with Zhao Hong Ai, without any need to prepare any luggage. He wanted to prepare a present for Zhao Hong Ai, including Cao Lai, and all the gym disciples. Wang Lu took over the gymnasium as the gym leader. He did not want to be the fire gym leader, but only wanted to be the dragon gym leader. Speaking up. The number of dragon-type Pokémon in Wang Lu's hands is also the largest, Salamence, Arceus, Dragonite and Haxorus. 4 in total. There are only 2 left from 6. Therefore, Wang Lu will be more comfortable if the Immortal Fire Gym is adjusted to a Dragon Gym. In fact, Wang Lu has already thought of a new name for the gymnasium, which is Shenlong Gymnasium. Since it is a Shenlong Gym, a Dragon Gym. So everyone from the gym leader to the gym trainer to the gym disciples must use Dragon-type Pokémon. Wang Lu came to Dragon Nest again because he wanted to catch some Dragon Pokémon and prepare a present for Hong Ai's wife and all the gym disciples. After sending Li Yanjun back to the hospital to rest, Zhao Hong Ai immediately returned to the gym and announced to everyone that Wang Lu would serve as the gym leader. Boss serves as our new owner. Cao Lai was the most surprised. Although the other gym disciples were not as surprised as Cao Lai, they were quite happy. After all, Wang Lu is very strong. As long as he is here, he can at least protect the gym. And Wang Lu did help them out this morning, which made them have a good impression of Wang Lu. Now that they hear the news that Wang Lu is the director of the museum, they will naturally accept it easily, even though Wang Lu is only 18 years old this year, much younger than most of them. Early the next morning, Wang Lu carried 2 boxes and came to the Shenlong Gym. Kings. Good morning, Mr. Master. Wang Lu had just pushed open the door, but he didn't expect that all the Taoist disciples, led by Zhao Hong Ai, were waiting in full formation. At this time, when they saw Wang Lu coming in, they all bowed and said hello with great respect. No matter what, Tian Lu was casual. Since they accepted it, they respected Wang Lu. If you don't accept it, you can leave at any time. Of course, until now, no one has left the gym. Hello everyone. Wang Lu smiled slightly and said, Hong Ai, Cao Lai, each of you has 1 Pokeball in these 2 boxes, and give 1 to each of you. Zhao Hong Ai and Cao Lai quickly stepped forward and obeyed. All Ultra Balls, 2 per person. Looking at the confused people, Wang Lu smiled slightly and explained, this is the present I prepared for everyone. It is not an empty Pokeball. It is filled with Dragon-type Pokémon. Dragon-type Pokémon. And 2 of them. Everyone, including Zhao Hong Ai and Cao Lai, were stunned. Chapter 158. As we all know, the Dragon Pokémon has a lot of mythical beasts, and it has its own force. Among Dragon Pokémon, there are few weak ones, and most of them are extremely powerful and extremely rare. I didn't expect that Wang Lu, the new owner, would use Dragon Pokémon, and there were 2 of them. This is too proud. The new owner doesn't want to follow the old path of the old owner. Does he plan to slowly develop the gymnasium into a Dragon-type gymnasium? It must be so, right? Oh my god! Dragon Gym! They didn't even dare to think about it, even if they were only disciples of the Dragon Gym, that would be a great honor. Everyone, don't be dazed, don't you want to see which two dragon-type Pokémon the boss gave us? Cao Lai smiled slightly, and everyone turned their attention to the two Ultra Balls in their hands. Bang bang bang! A lot of white light flashed, and a group of Axew and a group of Trapinch suddenly appeared in front of everyone. Axew. Trapinch. The final form is Haxorus. Flygon. My god, these are all extremely powerful dragon-type Pokémon. Compared with the Uzangia, they are not bad at all, even stronger. Not to mention, they are very rare. Lord Hall 750, do you really want to give us a lot of such rare dragon-type Pokémon? Looking at the group of Axew and Trapinch on the ground, all the disciples of the gymnasium were stunned, surprised, and delighted, unable to believe it. Even Zhao Hongai and Cao Lai were dumbfounded. Even the two of them completely underestimated Wang Lu's boldness. This is extra prepared for you. Wang Lu smiled slightly, and handed 2 luxury balls to Zhao Hongai and Cao Lai respectively. 2 for 1 person. Luxury ball. Zhao Hongai was shocked in Olai's heart. Intuition told them that the 2 luxury balls must contain extremely valuable Pokémon. Thinking like this, they couldn't wait to release the Pokémon in the luxury ball. Bagon, Diano. Dest. Immediately, one after another gasps sounded continuously in the square. To know. Axew and Trapinch, already extremely rare. Bagon and Diano are even rarer. These are all genuine quasi-god cubs. Final form, Salamence, Hydreigon, those are all extremely powerful existences. Boss, this is too precious, Cao Lai looked at Wang Lu with sincerity and fear, not daring to accept it. Don't worry, I won't let you take the benefits for nothing. Wang Lu said with a smile, from today, this gym will be renamed Shenlong Gym, and the attribute will be Dragon Element. Zhao Hongai and Cao Lai will be the gym trainers of Shenlong Gym and lead the disciples to carry forward the gym. Step by step towards the strongest. Shenlong Gymnasium is going to be the strongest. Intimidated by Wang Lu's domineering, everyone was convinced. In the next few hours, trucks brought in a large number of fruit trees, high-quality Pokémon food, energy cubes, and a large number of battle facilities. Among them, high-quality Pokémon food and energy cubes are all in line with the taste of dragon Pokémon. The fruits produced by each fruit tree are also the favorite flavors of dragon Pokémon. Zhao Hongai and Cao Lai organized their disciples to plant fruit trees on the edge of the square and spread out various battle facilities. For a while, Shenlong Gym Refresh had the air and style of a high-end gym. Although the original Immortal Fire Gym is a high-end gym, the facilities are extremely simple. From this we can see how ineffective that old man Li Yanjun is. At noon, the plaque of Shenlong Gymnasium was also brought over. Shenlong Gym is initially established. Next, we have to wait for the review of the Southern Region Alliance. After the review is passed, the Southern Region Alliance will launch a new gym badge and a gym leader badge for the Shenlong Gym. Certainly. Local Alliance conducts assessments for each avenue hall every year. The badges of the various avenues have new styles every year. The style remains unchanged, and the printed year will also be updated. If you hold last year's gym badge and want to participate in this year's Alliance conference, you will only be turned away. That is, if you want to participate in a local Alliance conference, you must collect 8 gym badges from that place and that year. Once the Shenlong Gym passes the assessment of the Southern Alliance, the Shenlong Gym will be officially established, and a new gym badge and the owner of the gym will be launched. Of course, at least within this year's Fairy Fire badge also has the effect. That night. Husband, Shenlong Gym, you are still applying for a high-level gym, so the Alliance may send elite trainers to review it. Husband, do you already have 6 dragon-type Pokémon? In the previous period of time, Zhao Hongai has endured a lot of shocks, and now he looks a little tired. There are only 4 now, don't worry, I'll catch 2 more tomorrow. Wang Lu said with a smile. After Mutuo Paradise is cleared, a new copy is also opened, named Water Capital. In the Water Capital, there should be red and blue planes, namely Latias, Latios. The red and blue planes are undoubtedly dragon legends. As long as Wang Lu catches both of them, he will have 6 dragon Pokémon, and he will be the owner of the dragon Pokémon. Early the next morning, after Wang Lu ate the loving breakfast carefully prepared for him by baby Hong Ai, he entered the copy of Water City. In Zhao Hong Ai's view, Wang Lu disappeared with a swish at this time. But Zhao Hong Ai didn't care too much. After all, her own husband owns a divine beast, and owns more than one divine beast, and is a legendary trainer. In her eyes, Wang Lu is like heaven and earth, omnipotent. Now I should use teleport to go to a secret place or ancient ruins to catch dragon Pokémon. Water Capital. With a flash of white light, Wang Lu appeared on a bridge. Under the bridge, a Pokémon swimming competition is being held. The Pokémon pull the trainer and the surfboard to swim, which is a huge test for the Pokémon's physical strength. Normal is a small Pokémon, even if it can be pulled, it is difficult to persist to reach the finish line. In terms of speed, don't even think about it. Ding! Congratulations to the host for triggering a temporary task, participate in the swimming competition and win the championship, and reward the water god. As the system prompt sounded in his ear, Wang Lu smiled slightly and sent Blastoise directly to sign up for the competition. Good. As Wang Lu and Blastoise participated in the competition, all contestants, including the audience from all directions, were astonished and exclaimed. Just because Wang Lu's Blastoise is Totem Blastoise, its size is too huge, and it is very powerful at first glance. I'll go, is this better than wool? That is to say, for such a big Blastoise, the strength and speed must be impeccable. Even, many contestants at the scene looked at Wang Lu and Blastoise speechlessly, and directly chose to abstain. Chapter 159. The game starts immediately. Whoosh! Blastoise took the lead, pulling Wang Lu to the front. Following closely behind are a Gyarados and a Lapras, and their respective trainers. These three left the remaining contestants far behind. Haha, Gyarados, we finally met the right person this year. Roar! Gyarados' trainer, who has a blue afro, was last year's swimming champion. He has a great rapport with his Gyarados. Gyarados, speed up! At his command, Gyarados suddenly accelerated, faintly on an equal footing with Blastoise. Then, Gyarados slammed Blastoise, knocking Blastoise away 1 meter at a time. Water splashed everywhere, and Wang Lu quickly stabilized his body. Gyarados' trainer laughed loudly, haha, if there is a competition of strength, my Gyarados will not lose to you. His operation made the audience on both sides of the river instantly excited. Such small actions are allowed within the rules. Therefore, he did not violate the rules. Last year, he relied on Gyarados' size and strength to defeat all rivals and win the championship in one fell swoop. Haha, really? Wang Lu smiled slightly and shouted, Blastoise, knock it away. Blastoise, Golden Epic, 70 Accurate Elite. Gyarados, Orange Chosen, Level 59 Elite. The strength of both sides is not at the same level at all. Blastoise suddenly hit Gyarados, including its trainer, and flew away far away. Finally, he hit the wall on the river bank and was completely eliminated. When Lapras' trainer saw Wang Lu and Blastoise kill last year's champion so quickly, his heart trembled and he quickly shouted, Lapras uses freezing light to create an ice road in front. We have to skate to be able to exceed their speed. Heard the words. Lapras immediately used the freezing rate to create a long ice road ahead. Lapras started skating, and his speed really increased. Hydro Pump, destroy waterways. Wang Lu gave an order, and Blastoise instantly launched Hydro Pump, destroying the ice road in front of Lapras. Lapras' speed also dropped. In the end, Wang Lu and Blastoise won the championship easily, without any pressure and no rival at all. He threw away the second-place player, Lapras' trainer, by an unknown number of meters. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the temporary mission and being rewarded with the power of the water god. As the system prompts sounded in his ears, the fifth divine power, the power of the water god, was born again in Wang Lu's body. As usual, the 5 divine powers are in perfect harmony, blending into each other and sublimating each other. Eventually, these 5 divine powers were upgraded. Power of Wave Guide, the fighting energy of pets under his command is increased by 50%. Power of Dragon Control, the dragon energy of your pets is increased by 50%. Power of Vulcan, the flame energy of pets under his command is increased by 50%. Psychic, the psychic of your pets is increased by 50%. Power of the Water God, the water energy of pets under his command is increased by 50%. The 50% improvement is terrible to know. When Pokémon use this type of skill, there is only a 50% increase. For example, Blastoise is a water Pokémon. In addition to water skills, it also masters other skills, such as Freeze Punch. Suppose, Blastoise's power when using Freeze Punch is 100, and the power when using Hydro Pump is also 100. However, since Hydro Pump is Blastoise's main skill, its power is increased by 50%. Because of the increase in Wang Lu's Water God's power, the power has been increased by 50% again. Then, Blastoise uses Hydro Pump, and the power is 225. Compared to the original 100, it's more than doubled. Even if it is twice resisted, it is still as powerful and surpasses other skills. Ding! Just when Wang Lu was a little happy because he had obtained the 5 divine powers. In my ears, the system prompt sounded again. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully clearing the copy of Water City and being rewarded with a Master Ball. Huh? Now you've cleared the level. Wang Lu couldn't help but be startled. Isn't this copy too simple? He hasn't fought the NPC yet. However, it doesn't matter if you pass the level quickly, you can take time now to capture the red and blue planes. Through the power of Wave Guide, Wang Lu actually discovered the existence of red and blue planes long ago. So, Wang Lu let Blastoise pull him. I haven't found the red and blue plane. Blastoise is very fast. In less than 10 minutes, Wang Lu approached the location of the red and blue plane. At this time, Wang Lu saw the red and blue plane and lurked in the river ahead. As Wang Lu approached, instead of being afraid, the two of them actively approached. Especially the younger sister Latias was very bold and flew directly out of the water, her small figure flying around Wang Lu. Latias. Attribute, Dragon plus Psychic. Level 30 Elite. Qualification, Golden Legend. Latios. Attribute, Dragon plus Psychic. Level 35 Elite. Qualification, Golden Legend. This pair of red and blue aircraft are still in their infancy and are very small. It's almost half the size of an adult red and blue airplane, but it's very cute. Latias, Latios, both have the attribute of Dragon plus Psychic. And Wang Lu has both the power of Dragon Control and Psychic. The presence of Wang Lu and the aura exuding from Wang Lu made Latias and Latios feel very close, like their grandfather, or even their ancestor normal. Sister Latias is bolder and takes the initiative to get close to Wang Lu. Brother Latios didn't know whether he was shy or cautious. He hesitated for a minute before choosing to get close to Wang Lu. Be good, be good. Wang Lu touched the head of his brother Latios with one hand and the head of his sister Latias with the other hand, feeling very satisfied. There is no doubt that although this pair of red and blue planes are still young, they are both mythical beasts and have legendary bloodline. Once it grows up, it will be an extremely amazing existence. He smiled at Latios, and Latias said, "Little guys, do you want to go with me today?" After that, Wang Lu also took out 2 rare candy, one for each brother and sister, and they suddenly looked satisfied. Wang Lu thought they had been captured by his rare candy, and just about to use the luxury ball to catch them, but his sister Latias smiled slyly, "Human, if you want to subdue me, catch up with me first." Telepathy. Wang Lu couldn't help but be startled. This little guy, at such a young age and at such a low level, has already mastered telepathy. As expected of a second-level beast, it is still not normal, at least its IQ is online. Say it. My sister Latias is like a red jet normal, spit up quickly and far away. But Wang Lu was not in a hurry to chase him. After all, the little guy's speed was not enough in front of him. Wang Lu was not in a hurry, looked at his brother Latios, and said with a smile, "What about you, what do you want?" As Wang Lu expected, his sister could telepathize, and so could his brother. At that moment, Latios grinned, and a little boy's proud voice rang out, "If you want to conquer me, you must use your Pokémon to defeat me." Wang Lu couldn't help laughing. "You little guy, you obviously have a bigger butt, how dare you be so arrogant? Defeating you is not something that happens casually." Chapter 160. In this case, I will subdue you first. Wang Lu smiled slightly, took out the Master Ball, and released Mutuo. Mutuo has no wings, but stands in the air. Moreover, he possessed an overwhelming kingly aura all over his body, which made Latios feel astonished. Dragon Breath. Facing the terrifying Mutuo, the little Latios seemed to cheer himself up, and shouted out telepathically. Then, he spit out a purple dragon breath, and blasted towards Mutuo viciously. Snort! Feel the smallness of Latios' power. Mutuo snorted coldly, even Barrier didn't bother to release it, and directly used his body to carry Latios' dragon breath. With a bang, as dragon breath exploded on Mutuo, Mutuo was almost unharmed and motionless. Ah! Latios was completely frightened by the Super 460 dream, screamed, turned and ran away. Its speed is also very fast, just like the normal blue jet, swish and spit up far away. Force. However, Mutuo stretched out his hand and directly used confusion, just like Pain's Vientiantianyan normal, instantly sucking Latios back. The small figure was ruthlessly grasped by Mutuo. No matter how struggle it is, it can't break free. Finally, it gave up completely, looked at Wang Lu helplessly and said, "Master, I lost, I am willing to follow you." Wang Lu smiled in satisfaction, took out a luxury ball and subdued it. "Mutuo, please, bring my sister back." Mutuo nodded and took the order to go. After only a few seconds of going back and forth, Mutuo grabbed Latias and came back. Regardless of strength or speed, they are not in the same dimension as these two little guys. "Little guy, you must be obedient in the future." Finally, Wang Lu touched his younger sister Latia's little head and subdued it smoothly. Exiting the copy, Wang Lu hugged Zhao Hong'ai from behind, put two luxury balls in front of her eyes, and said with a smile, "Honey, what do you think these two are Pokémon?" Being embraced so affectionately by Wang Lu, Zhao Hong'ai was very sweet in his heart, and analyzed, "Dragonite, Salamence, you already have. Then these two should be Hydreigon and Garchomp." Zhao Hong'ai is very optimistic about Wang Lu. Ordinary dragon-type Pokémon, just fly over and guess the quasi-god directly. Wang Lu smiled, "No." Zhao Hong'ai said, "Isn't one of them right? Is it Nimai Lulong, Komodo, or Duolong Barto?" Wang Lu said with a smile, "It's not right, it's much stronger and rarer than them." Heard the words. Zhao Hong'ai was very surprised, his small mouth opened into an O shape, stronger and rarer than a quasi-god, so it is a divine beast? Zhao Hong'ai couldn't believe it. Although his cute and handsome husband is extremely powerful, has he really reached the point where even divine beasts can be caught casually? See for yourself. Wang Lu handed the two luxury balls to Zhao Hong'ai's hands, and went to the coffee table to pour water for tea. Holding those two luxury balls in her hands, Zhao Hong was at a loss. She dared not leave the room to release the Pokémon inside. After all, if it is really a divine beast, wouldn't it be exposed? She is already Wang Lu's person, so she will naturally think of Wang Lu in her behavior and affairs. But if you put it in the room, the size of the mythical beast, normal will be very big. What if the room is crowded? Wang Lu seemed to know what she was thinking, and said with a smile, "Don't worry, it's just two underage guys, they won't crowd our room." Heard the words. Only then did Zhao Hong'ai nodded in relief, and released the Pokémon from the two luxury balls. A flash of white light. Two jet planes, one blue and one red, Latios and Latias suddenly appeared in front of Zhao Hong'ai. Zhao Hong'ai was very surprised and couldn't believe it. It turned out to be Latios, Latias' husband. It's amazing. Wang Lu has been the gym leader of Shenlong Gym for several days. Although the Shenlong Gym has not yet passed the official review and is not officially recognized for the time being. But the disciples of Shenlong Gymnasium did not stop practicing for a moment. Wang Lu spent tens of millions of xia coins to buy 4 Chim Echoes, which were hung in the 4 corners of the square, east, west, north, south, respectively. The melodious ringtone of Chim Echo has a healing effect. Make the gym disciples, and their Pokémon, always full of energy, always full of physical strength. Even if you are defeated and collapsed, lie on the ground and rest for a while, and listen to the melodious ringtone of Chim Echo. Will be rejuvenated in no time. The pool in the center of the square was also replaced by the Spring of the World in Mutuo Paradise by Wang Lu. It can be said, Wang Lu has tried his best to provide the Shenlong Gymnasium with the most superior environment. Fortunately, the gym disciples also worked very hard. Many of them are Axe Yu, which have evolved into Axe Teeth. Many of them Trap Inch, have also evolved into Vibrava. Certainly, Wang Lu's comparison is not surprising. The Axe and Trap Inch given to them by Wang Lu were carefully selected by Wang Lu in the Dragon Nest, all with blue qualifications. As far as Axe and Trap Inch are concerned, blue aptitude is already very strong, as for purple aptitude, unless Flash or. Moreover, the levels are all above level 30. This level alone has already reached the minimum standard of evolution. Today's evolution is nothing more than accumulation and gradual progress. Zhao Hongii and Cao Li made even greater progress. Baigon, Diano, Axe, Trap Inch, all have evolved once, and their strength has been significantly improved. Especially Zhao Hongii. Perhaps because of the combination with Wang Lu, a trace of dragon power has been awakened. As for the increase in dragon energy, although it is only about 5%, it is already extremely impressive. And Zhao Hongai's 2.2 body is surrounded by a faint dragon aura, and also possesses a certain affinity with dragons. Zhao Hongai was ecstatic. This makes it easier for her to walk into the heart of dragon Pokémon. Based on this alone, she will be able to become an excellent dragon trainer in the future, and maybe even become a dragon elite. Zhao Hongai awakened a sliver of dragon power, and Wang Lu was naturally very happy. He is the head of the gymnasium, and he wants to train the Shenlong Gymnasium to become the #1 gym in the country, and even the #1 gym in the world. To him, this is just a boring achievement. In his opinion, this kind of thing is not difficult at all, and it can be achieved in a few years at most. After achieving this, he can dump the gymnasium to Zhao Hongai. After all, Zhao Hongai is his wife, and it will be more than enough for him to be the gym owner of the world's mightiest gymnasium in the future. Chapter 161. Nanu Alliance, Elite Champion Conference Room. Above the main seat was a middle-aged man in his 30s with short purple hair and a well-proportioned and strong figure. He is the champion of the Southern Region Alliance, Gong Yiming. In fact, Gong Yiming is almost 50 years old. I don't know if he is well maintained, or for some other reason. He looked like he was only in his 30s. At this time, he holds a paper document in his hand. On it, it is Wang Lu's application. Wang Lu, male, 18 years old, was appointed as the new owner by the original owner Li Yanjun because of his meritorious service in guarding the Immortal Fire Temple. When Wang Lu took office, he changed the name of the Immortal Fire Gym to the Shenlong Gym, and reset the attribute of the gym to the Dragon Department. After that, Wang Lu still applied for the qualification of Shenlong Gymnasium as an advanced gymnasium. Let's take a look, everyone. What do you think about this? Gong Yiming looked at the 4 elites. Mironghai and the other 2 elites were silent, adopting an indifferent attitude. It's not their elite four's turn to worry about such small matters. If that Wang Lu really has the strength, he will naturally pass the assessment given by the alliance to the senior pavilion owner. At that time, let him be the senior museum owner, so what? Age? As long as you have strength, is 4 years old? 18 years old? Serve as the head of the Dragon Gym. Wishful thinking. Doesn't he know what a Dragon Gymnasium means? In our southern region, there is no Dragon-type gymnasium. Once a Dragon-type gymnasium is established, it must be the strongest gym in our southern region. Not to mention, he actually wants to apply to be a senior museum owner. 18 years old? I think he simply doesn't know the heights of the heavens and the earth. Xiao Jun slapped the table loudly and roared angrily. What he said was also for the sake of the reputation of the southern territory. On this basis, he was a little more excited, and his tone was a little more serious. Even Gong Yiming can't blame him. Mr. Gong, I see this. Alliance doesn't need to send other elite-level trainers, but I, the old man, will personally assess him. Let's see if he is qualified enough. Xiao Jun said in a deep voice. Almost every sentence he said was aimed at Wang Lu. Mironghai and the others frowned secretly, but didn't say much. Xiao Jun's seniority is too high, he is over 80 years old this year, and he is a whole generation higher than the champion Guan Yiming. As long as it is not a principled mistake, Mironghai and others, including Gong Yiming, will turn a blind eye and let him do whatever he wants. Gong Yiming looked at Mironghai and the other 3 elites, seeing that they were all silent and did not express their views, he said, since you all have no opinions, then I will leave this matter to Elder Xiao Elite. Xiao family. The weekly elite champion meeting ended, and Xiao Jun returned to Xiao's home. For example, Patriarch Normal sat in the head seat of the Xiao family. Xiao Ju and Xiao Shizhen hurried forward and asked, "Grandpa, how is it?" Xiao Jun smiled and said, "Don't worry, this time, I will do it myself. Our Xiao family is determined to win the gymnasium in Xianyuan City." Xiao Shizhen hesitated for a second, but couldn't help but stepped forward and asked, "Grandpa, what about Zapdos?" At this time, Xiao Shizhen had almost recovered from the burns all over his body after a week of recuperation. Unfortunately, at that time, he received the big red move Blaze Kick, his whole body was on fire, and his hair was burned off. In just 1 week, there is not much real hair up at all. But, compared to this, he cares more about Da Hong. He still misses Wang Lu's popularity. Xiao Jun shook his head and said, "Then Wang Lu owns fighting Zapdos. This matter has been completely spread, and it has spread in the entire southern region. Countless excellent trainers from all over the southern region have threatened to challenge him and Zapdos. If at this time, fighting Zapdos disappears from Wang Lu's hand and suddenly appears in your hand, how do you explain it? How does our factory explain it? Anyway, our Xiao family is absolutely decent. Snatch other people's Pokémon, such a nasty thing, our Xiao family can't do it." Xiao Shizhen was silent when he heard the words, very unwilling. "Zapdos, that's the legendary Zapdos. I, Xiao Shizhen, have a majestic talent, why can't I have it? Damn, it's really cheap Wang Lu. With Zapdos, even a pig should be able to become a powerful trainer." Xiao Shizhen said with a depressed face. "Haha, don't worry. Black Pokémon over there, Zapdos will not be spared." Xiao Jun smiled lightly. "Snatch someone else's Pokémon. The Xiao family can't do this kind of thing, but that black Pokémon organization with no bottom line has no worries at all. Damn, it's really cheap for them." Xiao Shizhen said angrily. "No matter who owns that fighting Zapdos, he will not accept it. Unless, in his own hands." Seeing him like this, Xiao Jun shook his head helplessly. His grandson is very talented. It's a pity, too crazy, too proud, too arrogant, I'm afraid it's hard to become a master. Compared with 13, he is more optimistic about Laoju. Laoju is taciturn, humble and polite, but in front of his servants, he does not lose his majesty. It is indeed the talent of a general. Night. Shenlong Gymnasium. Mutuo stood alone in the empty square. The powerful aura all over his body was released without reservation. It has not been a day or two at the Shenlong Gymnasium. Of course, it is not really a vigil, but it is exercising one's own strength and breaking through one's own limit. Boom! Suddenly, Mutuo's heart beat violently. Immediately, an invisible energy magnetic field, 633 suddenly burst out from its body, covering the space in all directions. Immediately afterwards, this illusory space was dyed with color again. This is a depressing and heavy purple, full of mind energy. Field. Psychic field. Mutuo is only at the level of a 92 level champion, yet he has already mastered the field. That's what it stands for. Once its level reaches the regular full level of level 100, it will directly break through and reach the realm of gods. Certainly. The superpower domain it now masters, although it is a domain, is not a god-level domain. It's still not as powerful as Zapdos Thor domain, but it's also extremely powerful, and can be called the demigod domain. At this time, in this superpower field, Mutuo has a faint feeling of controlling everything. Because in the field, the increase in mental energy, the psychic in its body has increased by at least 50%. More importantly, it can also freely manipulate all the thoughts in this field. At this time, there is a feeling in Mutuo's heart, it feels, it can even change the gravity magnetic field in this field. Boom! Mutuo clenched his fist suddenly, using the powerful telekinetic energy in the domain, suddenly doubled the gravity magnetic field in the domain. Under the pressure of the double gravity magnetic field, Mutuo trembled all over, feeling that his body became extremely heavy, as if his whole body was about to kneel down. Chapter 162. But Mutuo is Mutuo after all. Under the pressure of twice the gravity magnetic field, it actually resisted, using the whole body confusion to resist this pressure. Its body is falling every second, so that the soles of its feet have already sunk deep into the ground. But it never knelt down, or got down on the ground. At the same time, its physical strength and mental strength are crazily passing away every minute. After a few minutes, it was sweating profusely, and finally couldn't bear it and lay down on the ground. At this moment, the quartet gravity returned to normal, and the superpower field also disappeared. Jingle bell! In the quiet late night, the melodious bell of Chim Echo rang. Mutuo lay on the ground, with its horns raised slightly. It can feel that its physical and mental strength is recovering rapidly. The master's Chim Echoes are too powerful, and their healing effect is comparable to the spring of the world. Mutuo muttered to himself, and fell asleep under exhaustion. Boom! After an unknown period of time, a black hole suddenly appeared above the closed gate of the Shenlong Gym, and immediately, a Jengar poked out from it. Immediately afterwards, an old man also walked out. It was Xiao Jun. Looking around, Xiao Jun saw that the square was full of fruit trees, and there was even a Chim Echo hanging in the four corners. On the square, there are also a large number of battle facilities, and everything is in order. Well, not bad arrangement. Xiao Jun nodded in satisfaction. Immediately, Xiao Jun's gaze was placed in the center of the square. At this time, Mutuo was resting on the ground. Is that a Pokémon too? Looking at Mutuo, Xiao Jun was taken aback. Throughout his life, he thought he had seen all the Pokémon in the world, but he had never seen Mutuo before him. Is it a new breed? Xiao Jun's heart moved, and at this moment, Mutuo woke up leisurely. Who are you? Mutuo stood in the air, looking at Xiao Jun and Jengar coldly. There is a kingly aura all over his body. Immediately, a deep, even dignified voice sounded. Telepathy. Xiao Jun was taken aback again. Looking at Mutuo. Mutuo's physique, eyes, momentum, aura, and army are all extremely satisfactory. He could have sworn he'd never seen such a perfect Pokémon as Mutuo. Xiao Jun looked moved, looked at Mutuo and said, I am the new owner of this gym, are you a wild Pokémon? If you like this place, you can stay and let me be your master. Xiao Jun thought that Mutuo was a wild Pokémon and was very aggressive. Covet became stronger, so he secretly came to this square for training while the night was dark and the wind was high. It never occurred to him that Mutuo already had a lord. It never occurred to me that Wang Lu is the owner of Mutuo. After all, Mutuo's aura is too strong, at least it has to be at the elite level. As for Wang Lu, he's just an 18-year-old brat, and he doesn't have any background. How could he possibly own an elite, or even control an elite? Are you the new owner of this gym? Presumptuous. Mutuo's eyes were angry, and he clenched his fist suddenly, and the terrifying superpower field descended instantly, covering the space in all directions. Immediately, he manipulated twice the gravity magnetic field, moving towards Xiao Jun and Jengar to suppress them. What? Domain of God. Looking at the dark purple space that suddenly appeared all around, Xiao Jun's heart trembled, and an extremely bad premonition faintly rose. The next moment, twice the gravity magnetic field struck, making Xiao Jun groan and kneel down heavily. In an instant, Xiao Jun's 7 orifices bled, his viscera were displaced, and he couldn't breathe in pain. And next to Jengar, the situation is not much better than him. At this time, Jengar seemed to be carrying a mountain on his back, lying on the ground with pain on his face, unable to stand up no matter what. Xiao Jun was horrified. Although he is an Elite 4, he has a strong physique and an incomparably powerful mental power. But in essence, they are still human beings, and they are still flesh and blood. He couldn't bear this terrible gravity magnetic field. But his Jengar is a champion-level Pokémon. Can't bear it? What the hell is that Pokémon opposite? It must be too scary, right? The domain of the gods, the legendary beast level. Xiao Jun was horrified and couldn't believe it. At this moment, it was difficult for him to breathe, and his whole body, even every pore was under tremendous pressure, making him extremely uncomfortable. As if, will die at any moment. Now, he regrets it extremely in his heart. He shouldn't have troubled Shenlong Gym, and he shouldn't have troubled Wang Lu. Now, the true god is simply offended. Fortunately, Mutuo only wanted to teach them a lesson, and did not kill them. Seeing that the lesson is almost done, I removed the doubled gravity magnetic field. A moment. Xiao Jun and Jengar were like Meng Daihe, they didn't dare to stay for a second, and fled away scrambling. Dragging Jengar along, Xiao Jun escaped from Xianyuan City, and finally breathed a sigh of relief. The legendary level of beasts, the domain of gods. I didn't expect that Wang Lu would have such a good fortune, to have a relationship with that kind of existence. Xiao Jun sighed in his heart. He absolutely does not think that Wang Lu is the master of Mutuo, that is simply impossible. In his opinion, Mutuo is so terrible that no one can control it. In his opinion, there should be a certain relationship between Wang Lu and Mutuo. When Wang Lu was in trouble, Mutuo would come to help him. This is extremely scary. That's all, our Xiao family doesn't want this Xianyuan gymnasium. You black Pokémon, if you dare to touch Wang Lu, you can also ask for blessings. Xiao Jun sighed inwardly. Fortunately, Mutuo hold back, otherwise, his old bone would have to confess where it is. Thinking up to this point, Xiao Jun felt even more terrified. He swore that he would never dare to pester Wang Lu again. The sky is bright. Xiao Jun hurried back to Xiao's house. Mutuo punished him with small punishments, but Xiao Jun was just an ordinary human being after all, with a body of flesh and blood, and he was seriously injured. And they are all internal injuries that are difficult to recover from. In addition, he was extremely tired after running around all night. Good Zhao's face, there is no longer the beauty of the past. Master. Grandfather. All the descendants of the Xiao family came to pay homage. Seeing him so miserable, all the descendants of the Xiao family were shocked and angry. Xianyuan Gymnasium is not something that my Xiao family can touch. And Wang Lu, in the future, you must never offend me. That's all Xiao Jun said, and after he finished speaking, he went back to his room to rest, leaving only a group of dull descendants behind. That day, Xiao Jun personally reported to the Southern Region Alliance that Shenlong Gymnasium is a high-level gymnasium and has passed the review. Then, the Shenlong Gym was officially established. Just in the next week, countless trainers from various places in the southern region went to Xianyuan City to challenge the Shenlong Gym. For a while, the popularity of Shenlong Gymnasium in the southern region soared rapidly. At the age of 18, Wang Lu served as the head of the Shenlong Gym, and became famous in the southern region instantly. Chapter 163. Within the next week, the Shenlong Gym became extremely popular. There are nearby neighbors, but more of them are trainers who come from all over the southern territory. In fact, even a few trainers from outside the Xia Kingdom and from outside the southern territory came. It can be seen from this that Wang Lu's reputation is great and that of Shenlong Gym is great. Many of the challengers here are coming for Wang Lu, or in other words, fighting Zapdos. Wang Lu never refuses these people's requests for 1v1 battles. Over the past week, Da Hong has been winning consecutive battles, winning every battle, and has now reached level 80, the elite level. Of course, it has less combat escalation. Here, the role of Wang Lu's rare candy is more important. www. There is another group of people who came to challenge the Shenlong Gym. For these people, Wang Lu will not directly challenge them. Instead, let them first challenge the gym disciples of the Shenlong Gym, as well as the two gym trainers, Zhao Hong'ai and Cao Lai. Only by defeating at least one gym trainer will you have the power to challenge Wang Lu, the gym leader. In this week, Zhao Hong'ai and Cao Lai both took on countless challenges and became stronger. Shelgon, Two-Headed Dragon, Fracture, Vibrava. Zhao Hong'ai's 4 Pokémon have all evolved to their final forms, and their strength has skyrocketed in an instant. At least, among all the 380 gym trainers in the southern region, she is definitely among the best. In fact, her strength is even comparable to that of some ordinary gym leaders. After all, although dragon-type Pokémon grow very slowly, once they grow to their final form, their strength will instantly become several levels stronger. Far more than a normal Pokémon. Moreover, the dragon cub that Wang Lu handed over to them was of a very high level and had a very high starting point. In fact, even the only shortcoming of slow growth seems to be gone. As for Cao Lai, he was slightly inferior. Shelgon, Fracture, Vibrava all evolved one after another. Only the two-headed dragon has not yet evolved. Now, even though Cao Lai's strength is slightly inferior to Zhao Hong'ai's, he is still very strong. On this day, many trainers still came to Shenlong Gym. Tisk, it is indeed a dragon gym. It is really powerful and has good reputation. Yes, even the two gym trainers each have 2 quasi-gods. The young gym leader named Wang Lu, his strength is obviously more unfathomable. Isn't that right? From the beginning to the end, the only dragon Pokémon used by Wang Lu are Dragonite and Haxorus. In the past few days, he has defeated all challengers with just these two, Eevk. According to the locals here, the official owner also owns an ancient pterosaur and a Flash Salamence. This kind of strength is terrifying. No wonder he has already taken the position of the leader at such a young age. And he's also the leader of the Dragon Gym. It's really scary. This person is my new megastar. A group of external trainers were whispering, and they were in awe of Wang Lu, the young gym owner. Good. Wang Lu has been the gym leader of the Shenlong Gym for more than 10 days, nearly 2 weeks. His strength is still growing rapidly. Even Dragonite and Haxorus have both reached the elite level. Not to mention, Wang Lu's other, stronger Pokémon. In fact, even the latest red and blue aircraft that were conquered not long ago have both reached the quasi-elite level, and their strength has become extremely amazing. Mirong Mansion. What? That guy Wang Lu, is the Dragon Gym leader? And he's also a high-level leader. Impossible, even if he has Zapdos, but to serve as a Dragon Gym leader, you need 6 powerful Dragon Pokémon. Does he have it? Mirong Bai looked at his younger sister Mirong Shui with a face of shock, unbelievable. At first, he was exiled overseas by Wang Lu. Now, after wandering for nearly a month, he is finally back. But upon returning, it was unbelievable to hear such shocking news. The Zapdos he was talking about was the primal Zapdos owned by Wang Lu. And Mirong Shui didn't know about the existence of primal Zapdos, and thought he was talking about Dahong. Brother Zindao just came back not long ago, and the news is very well informed. 6 Dragon-type Pokémon. Mirong Shui thought for a while and said, I think there should be. As far as I know, there are 4, Dragonite, Haxorus, Primordial Pterosaur, and Pterosaur. Wait a minute, what the hell is an ancient pterosaur? After wandering for a month, Mirong Bai's information was seriously behind. At this time, there were simply too many doubts. After Mirong Shui explained clearly to him, Mirong Bai's eyes suddenly showed a strong fighting intent. At the age of 18, I don't believe that he can fly to the sky. Mirong Bai was very dissatisfied when he lost to Wang Lu last time. After all, it was just a 1v1 match. Losing 1v1 to the legendary Zapdos is not a shame. And, more importantly, Dragonite is just one of his trump cards. He has other trump cards besides Dragonite. But what about Wang Lu? Besides Zapdos, what else? If Wang Lu was really strong enough, why did he still have to participate in a small competition like the freshman competition? He owns the legendary beast and is a legendary trainer. His potential is beyond doubt. Perhaps in a year or two, I will surpass me and become the top existence of Xian Yuan, and even the entire generation of young people in the southern region. But at least for now, I don't believe that he will be stronger than me. Mirong Bai is very confident. Immediately, the brothers and sisters came to Shenlong Gym at the same time. Mirong Bai. Seeing Mirong Bai coming, all the trainers present were shocked. Mirong Bai, even in the entire southern region, is an extremely legendary existence. In the entire southern region, his Mirong Bai's name was resounding like thunder. Countless young trainers in the southern region are proud of him, regard him as an idol, and worship him very much. Mirong Bai also came to challenge the gym? To challenge Wang Lu? This is too exciting. Countless people at the scene were all speculating about Mirong Bai's intentions. I also hope that Mirong Bai can fight Wang Lu and besiege the first owner badge of Shenlong Gym. Compared with Wang Lu, they are obviously more optimistic about Mirong Bai's strength. After all, Mirong Bai is a legend and even their idol. As for Wang Lu, he is only 18 years old this year, which is really too young. Wang Lu, I heard that you are the owner of the museum here? For the sake of my sister and your classmate, brother, I will come to appreciate you. By the way, take the first owner badge of your Shenlong Gym. Mirong Bai stared at Wang Lu and said what he wanted directly. Obviously. As soon as Mirong Bai came, he directly wanted to challenge Wang Lu, the owner of the pavilion. Moreover, Zhao Hongii and Cao Lai, the 2 gym trainers, did not dare to stop them at all. After all, he is Mirong Bai, and his strength is much stronger than many pavilion owners. Normal's gym trainer is really not qualified to fight against him. Chapter 164 Normal's extremely powerful trainer can indeed pass the gym trainer and directly challenge the gym owner. And Mirongbai is obviously such a powerful trainer. With the current strength of Zhao Hongii and Cao Lai, let them accept the challenge of the normal trainer, and they can also temper their strength and improve their standards. But if they are allowed to accept Mirongbai's challenge, it is purely looking for abuse, and it is difficult to learn anything from it. Therefore, it was not difficult for Wang Lu to meet Mirongbai's challenge in person for them. Soon, Wang Lu and Mirongbai came to the biggest arena in the center of the square and stood facing each other. The audience from all directions quickly formed a circle. Hongii, Lai. While saying hello, Mirong Shui came to the side of the two. And here, closer to Wang Lu. That is to say, in her heart, she supports Wang Lu more than her elder brother Mirongbai. Tisk tisk. Mirongbai saw it in his eyes, the corner of his mouth twitched, and his heart was extremely sour. Okay, Wang Lu, what kind of magic did you use to take away my precious little sister? Thinking like this, Mirongbai swore in his heart that he would make Wang Lu look good. In order to make my baby sister look at me with admiration again, thinking that her brother is the most powerful trainer of the young generation. At this time, among the crowd, there was a very gloomy young man with long hair, who was staring excitedly at Wang Lu and Mirongbai on the field. His name is Tian Yat, and he is the Black Pokémon organization, the elite of the elite. Because of the order of his superiors, he came here to hunt the fighting Zapdos in Wang Lu's hand. He is very cautious and never makes a move easily. Once you make a move, you must gain something. Counting today, he has been in this Shenlong gymnasium for 7 consecutive days. In his opinion, Wang Lu's strength is indeed extremely powerful. Moreover, until now, he has not seen where the limit of Wang Lu is. Therefore, I dare not take it lightly. He even wanted to temporarily give up this task and let the organization send more senior figures to come. But now, he finally waited for the opportunity, and it was worthwhile for him to step on the spot for 7 consecutive days. Mirongbai. No matter how strong Mirongbai is, even he is like thunder. B4. In the battle between Mirongbai and Wang Lu, whether Mirongbai wins or Wang Lu wins, they will both lose. At that time, it was the best practice for him to shoot in the field. Fighting Zapdos? No. More than. In his opinion, almost all of Wang Lu's Pokémon are rare Pokémon. Fighting Zapdos, Dragonite, Flash Haxorus, even the rumored Pterodactyl, and Flash Salamence. Almost none of them are ordinary characters. By then, he took the opportunity to kill Wang Lu, he didn't mind, and took over all of Wang Lu's Pokémon. Mirongbai, blah blah. If your strength is not enough and you are seriously injured by Wang Lu, I don't mind taking your Pokémon. Among the crowd, Tian Ye stared at Mirongbai and thought with a gloomy expression. Now begins the host challenge between Wang Lu and the challenger Mirongbai. The competition rules are 6v6 full battle. Halfway, only the challenger can change Pokémon freely. Now, the owner of Yushan Wang Lu sent out the first Pokémon first. The referee of Shenlong Gymnasium announced the start of the game. Hearing this, Mirongbai was slightly taken aback. In his opinion, Wang Lu is just a junior. Unexpectedly, it is actually Mirongbai who is challenging the junior. And, more importantly, the opponent is the owner of the gymnasium. And in the hall owner challenge, the hall owner not only has to dispatch Pokémon first, but also is not allowed to replace other Pokémon in the middle, which is at a great disadvantage. I didn't expect that I, Mirongbai, would be so useless when facing the junior. Mirongbai sighed in his heart. At this time, Wang Lu has sent the first Pokémon to appear, which is Haxorus. Aegislash, come on! Mirongbai glanced at Haxorus, and then sent out the first Pokémon. Haxorus, Golden Epic, level 80 Elite. Sword Monster, Orange Heavenly Chosen, level 79 Quasi Elite. Shield Sword Monster. It is said that the trainer that Aegislash likes has the potential to be a king. As expected of Mirongbai, possessing such a rare Pokémon. Yes, Aegislash has a special sword shield mode, which integrates offense and defense. Except for the slight lack of speed, its power and defense are definitely a powerful existence that surpasses quasi-gods. 11. Looking at Aegislash on Mirongbai's field, the audience in all directions couldn't help but let out an exclamation. Really? Aegislash is indeed an extremely powerful Pokémon. If it is a little faster, it will be a quasi-god-like strength. Snort. Hearing the compliments from everyone around him, Mirangbei smiled proudly, and confidently brushed his bangs on his forehead. Good. No matter where Mirangbei, go, I should be the focal point. Now, I want to beat Wang Lu fiercely, so that you can fully understand that I, Mirangbei, will always be the strongest and most dazzling person among the young people in the southern regions. Aegislash, use the sacred sword. Mirangbei gave the order. Heard the words. The shield sword monster first used the sword dance spontaneously, which greatly improved its strength and momentum. At the same time, pulling out the blade, condensed the powerful fighting energy, making the blade extremely huge, emitting a dazzling white light, and turning into a powerful sacred sword. Woo! I saw Aegislash brandishing the sacred sword, cutting through the wind all the way, slashing towards the opposite Haxorus fiercely. However, facing Aegislash's extremely powerful attack, Wang Lu smiled easily. Haxorus, use Dragon Claw to capture it. Roar! Haxorus let out a roar, stretched out the huge Dragon Claw, and took the attack of the sacred sword hard at the same time. Grabbing the sword with one hand and the shield with the other, he grabbed Aegislash. What? Seeing that Haxorus actually blocked Aegislash's sacred sword, Mirangbei couldn't help being surprised. To know. The shield sword monster is in the form of a blade, and its attack power is extremely powerful, even more powerful than Haxorus. As for the sacred sword, it is also the third big move of Aegislash. On the contrary, Haxorus is a high-attack assassin, and Haxorus is a squishy. Normal. As long as they are in the same realm, Aegislash can kill Haxorus in a flash. Even Flash Haxorus can kill in seconds. My Aegislash has reached the peak of the quasi-elite, and the power of the sacred sword is extremely terrifying. There are very few rivals among the quasi-elite. Unexpectedly, I still couldn't instantly kill that Haxorus. In other words, has Wang Lu's Haxorus reached the elite level? How is this possible? Staring at Wang Lu, staring at Haxorus, Mirangbei's face was full of disbelief. Chapter 165. That's it for Zapdos. After all, Zapdos is a legendary beast and cannot be compared with ordinary Pokémon. In Mirangbei's opinion, when Wang Lu got Zapdos, that Zapdos was already very powerful. In addition, Zapdos is powerful and growing at an alarming rate, so it is normal for it to reach elite status in a short period of time. But that Haxorus, even Flash Haxorus, its growth rate is far slower than that of the mythical beast. This guy Wang Lu is really talented. Can he be trained as an elite at just 18 years old? Compared to me back then, no, even compared to my father back then, it's even worse. Mirangbei's heart trembled. What a wonderful Dragon Claw! Wang Lu's command level is getting better and better. Mirangbei's beautiful eyes lit up and she praised Wang Lu. Zhao Hong nodded 507. But Cao Lai looked puzzled and asked, how do you say that? Mirangbei said, Aegislash has both a blade form and a shield form. When Aegislash is unsheathed and uses attack skills, it will be in the blade form. It is extremely powerful. Remove the sheath and use defensive skills, such as its signature skill King's Shield, which is a defensive form, and its defensive capabilities are extremely terrifying. But now, Haxorus Dragon Claw grabs the sword blade with one hand and the sword shield with the other, which is equivalent to controlling Aegislash, making the shield sword monster unable to defend itself. In other words, Wang Lu's operation made Aegislash as crisp as a piece of paper. I see. Mirangbei's explanation made Cao Lai suddenly stop and couldn't help but nod. Zhao Hongyi smiled and said, that's not all, Aegislash is a double attribute Pokémon of Steel plus Ghost, and the Ghost Pokémon is immune to normal attacks and fighting attacks. If Haxorus doesn't use the Dragon Claw skill and catches it with his bare hands, he won't be able to catch the shield sword monster at all. Mirangbei nodded, not bad. Cao Lai was startled when he heard this and secretly admired Wang Lu. Unexpectedly, Boss Wang Lu's simple order concealed so many details. It was really awesome. Use Crunch. At this moment, Wang Lu gave an order. Immediately. Haxorus still uses Dragon Claw to hold the shield sword monster tightly, preventing it from escaping. At the same time, he opened his mouth wide, gathered violent evil energy, and bit Aegislash fiercely. With a bang, Crunch's violent energy suddenly exploded on Aegislash. Evil restrained Ghost, the effect was outstanding, and Aegislash was knocked unconscious with one move. Immediately, Haxorus casually threw the unconscious Aegislash to the ground. Aegislash loses the ability to fight, Haxorus wins. Seeing this, the referee immediately announced the result. Damn, this Haxorus is so strong. The audience from all over the world were shocked when they saw Haxorus easily killing Aegislash. They once again looked at Wang Lu and Haxorus with admiration. After all, opposite are Mirangbei and Mirangbei's Pokémon. It's simply terrifying that Wang Lu and Haxorus can do this. There is a way. Mirangbei couldn't help but praise. He took back Aegislash and sent out a new Pokémon, Go, Azumarill. Mirangbei's second Pokémon turned out to be Azumarill. To know. Azumarill are as numerous as wild dogs on the roadside, and the word rare has nothing to do with it. Even the Hercules Azumarill is extremely common. It is precisely because it is common that it appears to be close to the people. Many ordinary trainers will train a strongman Marill. Certainly. He would absolutely look down on a trainer of Mirangbei's level, the normal Azumarill, let alone train him as his main force. Then his Azumarill is naturally a special Azumarill. I saw. That Azumarill actually has angry red skin, looks very strong, very violent, and has full Hercules ability. There is no doubt that this is a Flash Hercules Azumarill. Azumarill. Attribute, Water plus Fairy. Level, Level 80 Elite. Qualification, Golden Epic. Wow! As expected of Mirangbei, he actually possesses this level of Azumarill. Looking at the angry red-skinned Azumarill on Mirangbei's field, Tianyi's eyes flashed with surprise, and then he laughed coldly. No doubt. No matter how ordinary a Pokémon is, no matter how numerous it is like a wild dog on the roadside, once Flash appears with different skins, it will definitely be extraordinary and it will definitely be the leader of its kind. Azumarill, freeze punch! Mirangbei gave an order, Azumarill gathered his freezing fist and rushed towards Haxorus. What a fast pace! Azumarill rushed in front of Haxorus in a few steps, and Wang Lu couldn't help but be surprised. Thunder Sword has a totem Azumarill, and Mirangbei has a Flash Azumarill, both of which have the qualifications of a Golden Epic. But in Wang Lu's opinion, regardless of level, this Flash Azumarill is definitely stronger. Because the Strongman Azumarill already has strong power, Azumarill needs speed. The comprehensive improvement of each side of Flash is even more powerful for the Strongman Azumarill. As for Totem Azumarill, it is undoubtedly bulky, with more than enough power, but a serious lack of speed. Haxorus, close combat! Wang Lu ordered. The fairy type owned by Azumarill is simply a dragon nightmare, and is directly immune to dragon damage. End. The fighting type skills and evil type skills that Haxorus is good at are also doubled by fairy type. Attribute has been completely countered, which is a huge disadvantage. However, the opponent's Azumarill was too fast, and Wang Lu had no choice but to fight hard. Boom! Azumarill's freezing fist and Haxorus's close combat collided fiercely, causing smoke and dust to rise 3 feet high. Waves of strong winds were set off, like shock waves normal, sweeping away in all directions. Wang Lu, Mirangbei, and everyone present could not help but stretch out their hands to block. A proper elite battle. It's so scary. I won't go into detail about Mirangbei's Flash Azumarill, but Wang Lu's Flash Haxorus must also be at the elite level. Damn it, this Wang Lu is 18 years old, he is an elite level, and he is a senior gym owner. Who can resist this? Even the 20-year-old Mirangbei 3 years ago is far from comparable. At this time, countless spectators at the scene were shocked when they looked at the chaotic arena filled with smoke and dust. Soon, the smoke and dust dispersed. Although Azumarill was covered in injuries and panting, he still stood there. Haxorus, on the other hand, was sadly defeated. Haxorus loses the ability to fight, Azumarill wins. Seeing this, the referee immediately announced the result. Chapter 166. After all, attribute is too inferior. Haxorus takes twice as much damage as Freeze Fist, but its close combat is only half as effective against Azumarill. Even so, the power of Haxorus is still amazing. Before he fell down, he still took most of Azumarill's energy away. Thank you, Haxorus. Wang Lu took Haxorus back with some relief, and at the same time, sent a new Pokémon to the field, Dragonite, come on stage. The second Pokémon, Wang Lu sent out Dragonite. Dragonite, Golden Epic, level 82 Elite. Azumarill, Golden Epic, level 80 Elite. Just debuted. Dragonite felt the strength of Azumarill on the opposite side, it didn't dare to push it too big, it just flapped its wings and took off. Facing the dragon. The flying dragons here are not only the flying dragon type, but also the flying dragon Pokémon without the flying type. Such as Hydreigon, such as Garchomp, such as Doran Barto. Facing Feelong, although Azumarill's attribute is favorable, but combined, it may not be favorable. First of all, let's be clear. The really powerful 04 is not Azumarill, but Azumarill of Hercules' ability. Only the Hercules Azumarill deserves to be called the Dragon Slayer. Normal Azumarill, let alone slaying dragons, can't even slay dogs. However, Hercules' ability, only physical attack is doubled, for special attack, there is no slight increase. So that is to say, Azumarill needs to use physical attacks to deal damage and deal output, and needs close combat to exert its own power. For example, Azumarill mostly freezes light, however, does no damage at all. Reality is not like a game, it is not a turn-based game of back and forth. Facing the flying dragon. In many cases, Azumarill can't get close at all, so how to exert its power? Wang Lu originally thought that Mirongbai would temporarily replace Azumarill, but Mirongbai did not make such an operation. Actually, it's useless for Mirongbai to replace Azumarill. Because, the rest of Wang Lu are all flying dragons. Salamence, Pterosaur, Red and Blue Plane, they may or may not have flying type, but there is no doubt that all of them can fly, and they are all very good at flying. It is estimated that before this guy came to challenge me, he also did some research on my dragon lineup. Wang Lu smiled slightly, and in his heart, he made a guess about Mirongbai's behavior of not replacing Azumarill. 3 seconds passed. Mirongbai had absolutely no intention of attacking first. Facing the flying dragon, it would be too difficult for Azumarill to attack first. Physical attack, out of reach. Not to mention the small power of the special attack, it may not be able to hit the target. If you act rashly, there will be flaws. Mirongbai didn't dare to act rashly. After all, his Azumarill is no longer in the peak contest condition, but has less than half of his physical strength left. In that case, let's go. Dive close, Tian 1 volt. Following Wang Lu's order, Dragonite rushed towards Azumarill with a. At the same time, a strong current was released above the opalescent horn, and it blasted towards Azumarill fiercely. Avoid the attack. Mirongbai gave the order calmly. I saw that Azumarill's figure flashed sharply, and even avoided several thunderbolt shots from Dragonite in succession. Really excellent speed. Looking at the performance of that Azumarill, Wang Lu secretly praised it. That Azumarill's high agility and speed, apart from the bonus of Flash, should also be inseparable from Mirongbai's targeted speed training. From the perspective of the game, Mirongbai also assigned Azumarill's effort value to the speed item. If not, that Azumarill never had that speed. Unfortunately, this doesn't do much for me. Wang Lu smiled inwardly, and ordered again, aim at your feet, Dragon Breath. Heard the words. Dragonite opened his mouth, instantly cast Dragon Breath, and blasted fiercely towards Azumarill's feet. Although, Azumarill leaped forward and skillfully avoided Dragon Breath. However, that powerful Dragon Breath still exploded on that piece of ground, and the berserk shock wave it set off still sent the surrounding Azumarill flying up. Oops! Seeing Azumarill being thrown into the air, Mirongbai's expression darkened and he secretly thought something was wrong. Thunderbolt! With Wang Lu's order, Dragonite launched a Thunderbolt attack and easily took Azumarill away. Azumarill out of combat, Dragonite victorious. Seeing that Azumarill passed out completely, the referee couldn't help but announce the result. At this time, Mirongbai lost 2 games, while Wang Lu only lost 1 game, and Wang Lu led by a small field. Here we go, Jengar. Having lost 2 small games, he was at a slight disadvantage, but Mirongbai had experienced many battles, and he was still very calm at this time. The third Pokémon, he sent out a guy who always smiles and makes people laugh. Jengar. Attribute, Ghost plus Poison. Level 78 Quasi-Elite. Qualification Orange Selection. As strong as Mirongbai, there are no 6 elites. He only has 4 trump cards, and the former Flash Azumarill is also one of the trump cards. As for Aegislash, and this Gengar, it's just the main force. Certainly. His 2 main forces are quite special, rare, and extremely powerful at the same time. Talent, aptitude, bloodline strength, even though it's only the orange one. But they are definitely extremely outstanding existences in the orange sky. Basically, it is already very close to the golden epic. Moreover, these 2 are also of high rank. A level 79 and a level 78 are both quasi-elite peaks. In Mirongbai's opinion, his 2 main Pokémon are already comparable to Normal's elite Pokémon. Gengar, Shadow Ball. With Mirongbai's order, Gengar sent Shadow Balls instantly, blasting 787 towards Dragonite fiercely. Dragon Dance, dodge the attack. Wang Lu also gave the order, and saw Dragonite avoiding the attack while dancing the dragon. Just a few seconds later, the strength and speed of Dragonite suddenly doubled. At this moment, Dragonite's aura is also extremely terrifying, far surpassing that of Normal's elite Pokémon. Come on, Dragon God Dive! Wang Lu shouted. Hearing this, Dragonite let out a loud roar, and instantly released powerful dragon might and astonishing murderous aura, shocking Gengar violently. It made Gengar's whole body drip with cold sweat, and his figure trembled slightly. At the same time, an extremely violent dragon-shaped shockwave emerged from Dragonite's body, and slammed into the opposite Gengar fiercely. At the moment of crisis, Mirongbai gritted his teeth and hurriedly shouted, "Gengar, hold on, use Destiny Bond." Perhaps it was Mirongbai's encouragement that had an effect. Gengar's eyes lit up, and he instantly scored smelling salts. Before Dragonite crashes, Gengar finishes Destiny Bond curse on Dragonite. There was a bang sound, and the smoke and dust rose violently, which was extremely frightening. When the smoke clears, I saw, Gengar has fallen. As for Dragonite, it also fell down, but a second later, it stood up again. Compared with Gengar, Dragonite has level suppression and bloodline suppression. Even so, Gengar's Destiny Bond skill is still very effective, directly taking away Dragonite's 1.5 days history. Chapter 167. At this time, Dragonite stood on the ground and panted violently, obviously exhausted a lot of energy. But anyway, this game, Dragonite still won. Gengar out of combat, Dragonite victorious. The referee immediately announced the result of the game. What the hell is Mirongbai doing? Is his strength only at this level? Tian Ye's face was gloomy and unhappy. What he hopes most is to see both Wang Lu and Mirongbai lose, and he wins. Secondly, he hoped that Mirongbai would injure Wang Lu severely, so that he could kill Wang Lu, hunt down fighting Zapdos, and go back to hand over the mission. But now, Mirongbai is clearly at a disadvantage, which makes him very unhappy. Compared to the field, Mirongbai himself is still very calm. In his opinion, Dragonite is exhausted at this time. Although he was still standing, he couldn't exert his strength at all because of the bad contest condition, almost as if he had lost. And he has 3 Pokémon left, all of which are trump cards. For him, the game has just begun. Here we go, Doran Barto. For the 4th Pokémon, Mirongbai sent the quasi-god Duolong Barchuo, and his Duolong and Mirong Shue's Duolong are both inherited from the family. Good. Their old man Mironghai's Duolong Barchuo, who is a little stronger than Dragonite, gave birth to 2 children. To know. For Pokémon, the stronger the bloodline, the lower the fertility. Therefore, the total number of extremely powerful Pokémon, such as mythical beasts and quasi-gods, is extremely small. On the contrary, there are rookies, Rattata, Caterpie, and the like. The total number is absolutely astonishing. Mironghai's Duolong, of course, also has an extremely powerful bloodline. However, it actually gave birth to 2 children. Isn't this the smoke from the Mirong family's ancestral grave? Duolong Barto. Attribute, Penta plus Ghost. Level 80 Elite. Qualification, Golden Epic. Whoosh. Mirongbai's Duolong Barchuo is very active and very fast. As soon as it came out, it quickly flew around the stadium, and then landed firmly on Mirongbai's field. But after this lap, it took no more than 2 seconds, which shows how fast it is. Mirongbai gave an order, Dragon Darts. Hu Duolongbart came to 10 meters behind Dragonite at a ghostly speed, and immediately opened his mouth to spit out 2 dragon darts, and shot them fiercely at Dragonite's back. Avoid the attack! Wang Lu shouted calmly. I saw that Dragonite didn't turn his head back, as if his eyes were swollen behind normal, and avoided the medical examination with a flash of his figure. What, this? The sudden movement of Dragonite surprised countless audiences. Dragonite obviously didn't look back, but was able to judge the attack direction of dragon darts entrusted by Duolongbart? Certainly. If Dragonite did look back, it would be too late to dodge. And in fact, this kind of tricky angle and high-speed attack is hard to avoid. But Dragonite really avoids. It's just that Dragonite's contest condition at this time is not good, and his physical strength is seriously lacking. Just such a simple dodge action makes him very tired and his body is even weaker. Bird Guide Brave. Staring closely at Wang Lu, Mirongbai was startled at this moment. The Wave Guide Brave can sense all the wave guides in the surroundings. This kind of perception ability far exceeds the eyesight by many times. If the Wave Guide hero and the Pokémon under his command reach the state of spiritual communication, then the image sensed by the Wave Guide hero will also appear in the mind of the Pokémon. Mirongbai is well informed and not a normal person, so he instantly confirmed Wang Lu's identity as a Wave Guide hero. That's why Dragonite didn't need to look back, relying on the mind's eye to foresight the attack of Duolongbarto, and then he was able to dodge it smoothly. At this time, Mirongbai stared at Wang Lu, feeling extremely shocked. At such a young age, Wang Lu has such terrifying strength, so that's all. Unexpectedly, he turned out to be the legendary Wave Guide hero. Growing up so big, I, Mirongbai, have never envied anyone. But Wang Lu is so enviable. I was an elite trainer at a young age, and possessed the legendary Zapdos. In addition, he was also the legendary Wave Guide messenger. This. Staring closely at Wang Lu, Mirongbai felt sour in his heart like eating a lemon. Dragonite, use Dragon Claw. Wang Lu ordered. Roar. Dragonite roared violently, using the last of its strength to condense a pair of huge dragon claws, and fiercely slashed towards the opposite multi-dragon Bart. Oh, it's just the last lamp. Seeing Dragonite's berserk appearance, Mirongbai sneered slightly, and ordered firmly, Duolongbarchuo, don't get entangled with it, avoid the attack. Duolongbart obeyed the order, turned around directly, and quickly fled backwards. Unexpectedly, Dragonite accelerated suddenly at this moment, and even caught up at a faster speed. Huh? So fast, how is this possible? Mirongbai couldn't believe it. The effect of the previous dragon dance may still be there, but with the current contest condition and current physical strength, Dragonite can still explode at such a speed? This willpower is a bit too scary. It seems impossible to avoid. Dragonite's speed is too fast, tightly entangled with Duolongbarchuo. Mirongbai gritted his teeth, and shouted very unwillingly, Duolongbarchuo, use Dragon Tail. There was a loud bang. Duolongbart turned back and fired Dragon Tail, which slammed together with Dragonite's Dragon Claw. This violent force set off smoke and dust in the sky. When the smoke dissipates, I saw that Dragonite and Duolongbarchuo both fell down and passed out. Dragonite, multi-dragon Barto, also incapacitated. Seeing this, the referee was slightly taken aback, and hurriedly announced the result. Damn it, it's just a little bit close. But the attack power of that Dragonite is too terrifying. Seeing Duolongbarchuo collapsed, Mirongbai felt very unwilling, and his face was full of regret. His Duolongbarchuo played with full contest conditions, but he was replaced by a residual blood on the opposite side? This is too bad, right? Tillage. Mirongbai was very shocked. Wang Lu's Dragonite, in addition to possessing super willpower, its attack power is too scary. Well done. Indeed. Wang Lu's Dragonite is indeed very powerful, far surpassing the normal elite level Pokémon. Otherwise, even if the effect of Dragon Claw is outstanding, it is impossible to kill the elite who is full of blood. And not just Dragonite. Wang Lu has a lot of Pokémon, all of which have terrifying explosive power. This is because Wang Lu possesses 5 kinds of divine power, and invisibly, he has made a huge increase in the power of these 5 attributes of his pets. 50% increase, which is really terrible. If it's just a normal Pokémon, the power is normal. Even if it's increased by 50%, the power is still normal. However, the power of elite is too strong. Another 50% increase is not a concept. For example, 100 increases by 50%, but the power is increased by 50 points. But if the 10,000 increase is 50%, then the power will be increased by 5,000 points. Percentage increase. The stronger the power, the greater the increase. Chapter 168. Azumarill, Gengar, Doran Barto. Dragonite directly wears 3. Among them, Azumarill and Duolong Barto are even more epic level elites. Dragonite itself is nothing more than elite. This record is truly terrifying. Come back, Dragonite, you did well. Wang Lu took Dragonite back with a smile on his face. At this time, Wang Lu lost a total of 2 Pokémon, Haxorus and Dragonite, and still had 4 left. On the other side, Mirongbai lost a total of 4 Pokémon, and now only 2 are left. In this way, the gap is a bit big. Hateful. Mirongbai gritted his teeth and gradually lost his cool. Bart has multiple dragons with full health. Replacing a Dragonite with low health is really a loss. As strong as Mirongbai, it is difficult for him to swallow this breath. It's just a little bit close, just a little bit close. If Dragonite is defeated early, my Dragonite will still have full health. In that case, how could I be at such a huge disadvantage and become so passive? At this time, Mirongbai felt very uncomfortable. It felt like Normal had eaten shit, and felt very sick. Wang Lu's strength is really getting stronger. I didn't expect that he could still gain such a big advantage against my big brother 787. Looking closely at Wang Lu, Mirong Shue's beautiful eyes flashed with brilliance. Before, she somewhat admires her father, and somewhat admires her eldest brother. But now, the only person she admires most is Wang Lu. After all, Wang Lu is only 18 years old this year, and his talent is truly monstrous. His future will be even more incredible. It's not just Mirong Shui. At this time, Zhao Hongii and Cao Lai were also very shocked. They couldn't believe that even in the face of such a powerful Mirongbai, Wang Lu could crush him like this. Especially Zhao Hongii. Recently, she and Wang Lu have become one, getting along with each other day and night. She deeply knows how terrifying Wang Lu's strength is. She deeply knows how luxurious Wang Lu's lineup is. For Wang Lu, Haxorus, Dragonite. These two are really just the most common Pokémon. If Wang Lu is really serious, he may not have just this little advantage against Mirongbai. I think if my husband recognizes Drew a little better, he should be able to introduce Mirong to the temple. Zhao Hongii stared at Wang Lu's side face obsessively, thinking in her heart. Humph, Mirongbai, it turns out that he is just an idiot who has gained a reputation in vain. Staring at Mirongbai with cold eyes, Tian sneered in his heart. He no longer had any hope for Mirongbai. The mission cannot be given up temporarily. When this game is over, if Wang Lu beats Mirongbai, then he will target Mirongbai. The ultimate goal of the black Pokémon is to dominate the world. Then, every time a member of his command kills a so-called decent genius trainer, it is considered a great achievement. From the perspective of the field. Since Mirongbai's strength was so unbearable and his expectations were in vain, then he didn't mind and accepted Mirongbai's bad guy. It's your turn, Dragonite. The fifth Pokémon, Mirongbai finally dispatched, one of his two strongest trump cards. Dragonite? Nice rival. Looking at the Dragonite facing him, Wang Lu smiled slightly, and immediately took out a luxury ball and threw it lightly. I'll let you see the world, let's play, Latias. White light flashed. I saw that a Pokémon like a red jet normal suddenly appeared on Wang Lu's field. Dragonite, Golden Epic, level 82 Elite. Latias, Golden Legend, level 75 Quasi Elite. When Wang Lu mentioned seeing the world, he meant letting Latias see the world. His Latias was still a girl, quite young. As soon as it came out, it stared at a pair of beautiful big eyes, looking at everything around it curiously. However, one thing is still good. At least, it's not too shy, and it's a bit more lively than its older brother Latios. What, this? Latias? Isn't it, what the hell? The third Pokémon, the owner Wang Lu actually sent Latias. Latias? Isn't this the legendary Pokémon? I've heard that Wang Lu, the owner, owns a fighting Zapdos, and now, he actually owns a Latias. His strength is too unfathomable. When Latias appeared on the stage, the audience from all directions were astonished. Except for Zhao Hong'ai, even Cao Lai and the disciples of Shenlong Gym were all stunned at this moment. The Shenlong Gymnasium, although it is a dragon-type gymnasium. The owner of Wang Lu, even though he is the owner of the Dragon Gym. However, it is too unbelievable that he actually used the legendary Latias as the guard of the gymnasium. My god, Latias, what a cute little guy. Unexpectedly, Wang Lu actually owns a Latias. Seeing Latias' cute face curious about the world, Mirong Shui fell in love with Latias instantly. But she was even more shocked, Wang Lu actually owns Latias, which is also a legendary Pokémon. Damn it! Looking at Latias, Mirong Bai and Tian Yet on Wang Lu's field, the expressions on their faces were all unbelievable. Mirong Bai was more sour, but Tian Yet's eyes were filled with deep excitement. Latias. Another legendary Pokémon. If Wang Lu is killed, then our Black Pokémon organization can obtain 2 great beasts in an instant, this. Originally, Wang Lu's strength is so strong that Tian Yet is very afraid. Just now, he planned to give up this mission temporarily. But now, the desire was rekindled in his heart, and, no matter what, he couldn't extinguish it. After all, 2 legendary Pokémon, this Captivate is too powerful, even if there is a big risk, he is willing to try it. Latias, go invisible. With Wang Lu's order, Latias disappeared out of thin air. This is the special ability unique to the younger sister Latias, and the elder brother Latios does not have such an ability. This is because the feathers of the younger sister Latias are very special, very transparent, like glass. Therefore, it can use the refraction of light to hide its own figure, and even change into any shape. In the theatrical version of the original book, that Latias turned into little Stephanie. Stealth. Mirong Bai's eyes froze. Stealth, without a doubt, is an extremely tricky ability. Its multi-dragon Barchuo also possesses the ability of invisibility. However, before it was time to display it, it was already defeated. Certainly. Even if his Duolong Barchuo is not defeated now, the stealth ability of Duolong Barchuo is not the slightest threat to Wang Lu. After all, Wang Lu has the mind and the waveguide magnetic field that can disable all obstacles. Chapter 169. Be careful, Dragonite! Mirong Bai shouted. Dragonite nodded seriously. At this time, it trusts its ears more than its eyes and wants to determine the location of Latias through sound. Want to use sound to determine Latias's position? Then I'll make some noise first, okay? Looking at the cautious look facing Dragonite, Wang Lu smiled slightly and shouted towards Latias in front, use Tianlong Meteor. What? From the beginning. Mirong Bai was shocked when he heard this. The next moment, Latias used the Dragonite Meteor, causing countless energy bombs, like scattered meteors, to hit Dragonite hard. Dragonite, avoid the attack quickly. Mirong Bai shouted hurriedly. To know. Tianlong Meteor is the most powerful move in the dragon system, and its power is extremely terrifying. At this time, after being used by a legendary beast like Latias, let alone the power. At this time, Dragonite was also very fearful, and with a flash of his body, he carefully dodged the heavenly dragon meteors one after another. At this time, due to the noise of the Draco meteor, Dragonite could no longer concentrate on listening to other sounds. It didn't even know that Latias had used its extremely fast speed to get behind it. Now, freezing ray! Wang Lu gave an order, and Latias appeared directly. A blast of freezing light severely damaged Dragonite. 4 times the damage, the effect is mega. In an instant, Dragonite was frozen into a big ice block, and with a whoosh sound, it quickly fell from soaring in the sky. If Dragonite were to fall like this, although Dragonite would suffer heavy losses, it would also free Dragonite from the freezing contest condition. Unfortunately, it was impossible for Wang Lu to give it such an opportunity. He waved his hand and shouted directly, Latias, give it the final blow, use Giga Impact. Call out. Heard the words. Latias instantly turned into a stream of light, swooping down, blasting the air all the way, carrying a super strong air current all over his body, and slammed into Dragonite. Boom! I just saw. Dragonite just fell to the ground, and the ice on its body cracked. As soon as it regained freedom, it was hit hard by Latias' Giga Impact, and its entire body flew backwards like a cannonball again. In the end, Dragonite fell hard to the ground and passed out completely. Dragonite loses the ability to fight, Latias wins. The referee from Shenlong Gym shouted excitedly. He couldn't believe it. One day, he can even declare victory for the legendary Latias. This feeling is really great. 5 games, even though he is as strong as Mirongbai, he has already lost 5 games. What the hell is this Wang Lu? Mirongbai lost 5 games, while Wang Lu, the gym leader, only lost 2 games. Can I interpret this game as a crushing defeat? Obviously, Mirongbai is very powerful, but Wang Lu is even more powerful. Indeed, even Latias is thrown out, who can withstand it? Audiences from all directions were extremely shocked. At this moment, they once again refreshed their understanding of Wang Lu. There is no doubt that Wang Lu is a stronger trainer than Mirongbai, even though he is only 18 years old. Latias, is this the legendary power? And that invisibility ability, tisk tisk tisk, it's so perfect. Staring at Wang Lu's Latias on the field, Tian Ye's eyes were full of scarlet at this time, and his eyes were full of greed. Divine beast, he is so owned by covet. Finally, I leave it to you, come on, Bangela. With a flash of white light, a monster that looked exactly like Godzilla suddenly appeared on Mirongbai's playing field. This is Mirongbai's last trump card. Desert Tyrant, Bangera. Bangera. Attribute, Rock plus Evil. Level 82 Elite. Qualification, Golden Epic. Dragonite Barto, Dragonite, Bangera. Mirongbai dispatched 3 powerful quasi-gods one after another. Before doing it, people were already screaming and praising Mirongbai's strength. But now, in front of the legendary Latias, what is a mere quasi-god? To know. Latias is a level 2 god with extremely strong blood. A level 2 god, Fu is undoubtedly stronger than a level 3 god. Although its aptitude is only a golden legend, it is definitely the top of all golden legends. Latias, use the mist ball. Wang Lu gave an order, and Latias immediately opened his mouth and spat out a mist-like energy ball, which quickly flew through the air and hit Bangala on the opposite side. This fog ball is Latias's exclusive skill. In addition to being very powerful, it also has a powerful defense-breaking effect. The red thunderous kick breaks through physical defenses. Latias's fog ball and Lashio's exclusive skill, Cleansing Glow, can break through special defenses. Batson. Once the fog ball hits, a circle of smoke will disperse, disrupting the enemy's vision. Putting it all together. This fog ball is an extremely powerful skill as long as it hits. Use Sandstorm. Mirongbai ordered. I heard. Bangala roared, and an extremely terrifying sandstorm surged out of his body, which not only easily bounced the lost ball away. The entire sandstorm also spread, forming a sandstorm weather on the arena. In this world of sandstorm, Latias is very uncomfortable. Not only is he unable to become invisible and transform, but he is also harmed by sandstorm every minute and second. Bangera, destroy the death light. Mirongbai gave an order, Bangala opened his mouth wide, and the white, destructive death light with destructive power spit up, blasted the air all the way, and blasted towards Latias on the opposite side. Hi! 11. Facing Bangela's attack, Wang Lu did not hide at all and shouted directly, Latias, use Dragon Wave. Bang! I saw. Latias also spit out a purple beam, which collided head-on with Bangera's destructive death beam. D. Latias' Dragon Wave was significantly more powerful, defeating the destruction and death ray all the way without losing any power, and then hit Bangala hard. Boom! The smoke and dust exploded. Normal. The power of the Dragon Wave is not as powerful as destroying the death light. Although, Latias's talent, qualifications and bloodline strength overwhelmed the opposite Bangala. However, Bangera's level and realm also crush Latias. In this case, the power of Latias's Dragon Wave is at best equal to Bangera's destructive death ray. But now the result is that Latias won the battle, and he won completely. Of course, this is inseparable from the amplifying effect of Wang Lu's dragon controlling power on Latias. Latias, use water waves. Wang Lu gave the order again, Latias instantly connected to the water wave, and exploded on Bangera. Outstanding effect. This powerful wave of water directly took away the bloody Bangera smoothly. Bangera is disabled, Latias wins. Competition is over. The owner of this venue, Wang Lu, won the challenge. The referee of Shenlong Gymnasium shouted excitedly. The strength of Wang Lu's pavilion master is really too fishy and too risky. As for the referee, as a member of the Shenlong Gym, he also feels extremely proud. Chapter 170. The sandstorm weather quickly disappeared. Come back, Bangala, you did a great job. Mirong Bai took Bangala back with a bitter look on his face. Never imagined. He, Mirong Bai, was defeated again. 3 years ago. Mirong Bai traverses the southern region. His strength is definitely the strongest among the younger generation in the southern region. Then he went into seclusion for 3 years. His strength has improved tremendously again. He came back this time full of confidence, and originally wanted to win this year's Southern Alliance Conference again, thereby qualifying for the Elite Challenge again. He wants to challenge his old man, Mirong Hai again. Wherever you fall, you have to get up. =O. He was completely tortured by his old man Mirong Hai. Today, 3 years later, he wants to defeat Mirong Hai in an upright manner, and obtain the deepest 153 approval from his father. DJ. He came back too early. This year's Nanu Alliance Conference has not yet started. Even now, there is still about a month before this year's Southern Alliance Conference will officially start. Come back early, this is nothing, just wait quietly, time will pass quickly. JJ. He never expected that just after he came back, he lost 2 games in a row. And these 2 games were all lost in the hands of Wang Lu alone. The point is, Wang Lu is not only younger than him, but also far superior in strength. Wang Lu, I'm convinced. Compared to you, I, Mirong Bai, am in vain a genius. Competition is over. Mirong Bai came to Wang Lu and said with a wry smile. Wang Lu smiled and said, no, you are already an extremely powerful existence among all the trainers I have met. 2. Mirong Bai was startled, and then he smiled even more bitterly. It turns out that Wang Lu was young, and the rival he met was even stronger than him. Then what is he, Mirong Bai? That's amazing. This Wang Lu Hall Master, sooner or later, he will become a blockbuster. He defeated Mirong Bai and became the strongest being among the younger generation in the Southern Territory. Now, for him, Wang Lu, participating in the Southern Territory Alliance Conference is probably not interesting anymore. Yes, if I were him, I would continue to practice, and in a year or 2, I would directly participate in the World Alliance Conference. As Wang Lu won, the surrounding audience immediately began to encourage Wang Lu crazily. Humph, Mirong Bai, you are such a waste. At this time, Tian Yi snorted in his heart and finally chose to take action. Go ahead, Slaking. Yet Yen suddenly sent out Slaking, who was very lazy and was sleeping soundly at this time. At the same time, in Ye's hand, a syringe filled with scarlet liquid popped out with a whoosh. Just like that, Ye plunged the syringe into Slaking's body. In an instant, the full tube of scarlet liquid was completely submerged into Slaking's body. To know. Tian Ye's movements are very skillful, and all his operations are completed in an instant. Ho! Slaking stood up abruptly, roaring loudly. Wave after wave of sound, like a terrible shock wave, caused eardrum pain to everyone present. Slaking. This is a very special kind of Pokémon. It possesses extremely terrifying power, comparable to that of a mythical beast. Yes, it's lazy by nature. Lazy ability is its only ability. Just because of the drag of laziness and ability, it made it disappear from the crowd, and its strength was comparable to that of a divine beast. However, just because it is inherently lazy, its overall combat effectiveness is not as good as that of a quasi-god. Not to mention quasi-god, it is even not as good as ordinary Pokémon. Therefore, Slaking is not very valuable for cultivation. But now, Slaking in the field, going berserk contest condition. Its eyes are scarlet and full of destructive power. At least for a short period of time, its incomparable strength, which is comparable to that of a beast, can continue without being disturbed by the lazy ability. Rage Potion. The audience in all directions, looking at the scarlet-eyed, extremely terrifying Slaking, all exclaimed. Rage Potion. This is a black Pokémon organization that collects Wujitana's violent energy factor, a specially developed prohibited drug. The effect of this violent potion is extremely terrifying. although it is impossible to make Pokémon go extremely large. However, it can make Pokémon crazy and greatly increase their combat power. However, it is difficult for ordinary Pokémon to control this power, and it will lose control, go crazy, hurt people, and even kill people at every turn. Because of this danger, it will be blocked by the Alliance, become a prohibited drug. J. Regardless of the Black Pokémon organization, they are still using various channels to smuggle and sell rage potions. If someone sells it, someone will buy it, especially in the underground market, that is, the black market is extremely popular. Once this rage potion came out, it instantly became a mob, and Pokémon hunters love it. Recently, many cities across the country have fallen into chaos due to violent potions. Here, the Xiao family's stronghold, Tokowski City, is even more serious. As an Elite Four, Xiao Jun sits in Tokowski City, and he has the responsibility to protect the safety of Tokowski City. He had already ordered the security force of Tokowski City to thoroughly investigate this matter. Severely punish the criminals who sell violent potions. The superintendent of Tokowski City, Xiao Zhen, even went out in person. DJA. For so long, nothing. Normal's Pokémon, using Rage Potion, will go berserk and deny all relatives. He often shoots to hurt people, even wounds, and even kills his own master. Even this kind of thing has happened from time to time recently, especially in Zhongzhou, it is very frequent. Fit. The Black Pokémon organization, their Pokémon, are specially trained. Their Pokémon, injected with berserk potions, will become berserk and stronger, but they will still maintain a trace of rationality. This contest condition is extremely perfect. For slaking, it is undoubtedly more perfect. In a short period of time, not only is it immune to laziness ability, but it can also become mad and stronger. Is this worth it? Slaking. Attribute, normal. Level, level 80 elite. Qualification, golden legend. Madness, power increased by 30%. Aptitude is a comprehensive 1.2 reflection of species strength, character, ability, individual value, etc., these innate abilities. Slaking is very powerful, comparable to legends. But because of the drag of the lazy ability, slaking and normal only have the orange qualification, or even lower qualification. Only flash slaking, or totem slaking, can reach the level of golden epic. But now, the slaking in the field went berserk directly, making it block the slaking ability in a short period of time. Thus, the golden legend. This slaking, in a short period of time, has truly possessed a strength comparable to that of a divine beast. Kill him, use the arm hammer. Tianya let out a wild laugh, slaking slammed splash, swooped down, swung an iron fist the size of a casserole pot, and slammed towards Wang Lu viciously. This field. It is worthy of being the elite in the Black Pokémon organization. Directly attacking the trainer, or even killing people, has no psychological burden on him. Chapter 171. Wang Lu. Looking at Slaking's casserole-sized iron fist, and feeling the violent murderous aura emanating from Slaking, both Mirong Shuet and Zhao Hongai's hearts trembled. His body moved involuntarily, and he hugged Wang Lu tightly. With their frail bodies, they are not enough to help Wang Lu resist Slaking's attack, but they are willing to share the pain for Wang Lu, and even go to hell together. Wu. Mirong Bai saw it in his eyes and sighed in his heart. He never thought that his sister could do this for Wang Lu. After a helpless sigh, Mirong Bai couldn't help but spread his hands, blocking in front of Wang Lu and the others. Wang Lu and Zhao Hongai, he may not care much about it. However, as the eldest brother, he couldn't leave his younger sister alone. Looking at the scene in front of them, countless people at the scene were shocked and gasped. Just when everyone thought that the four of Wang Lu were about to die, Wang Lu himself was very calm. To know. Wang Lu himself has reached the level of a demigod, and his level of life has long surpassed that of ordinary people. In the eyes of ordinary people, the speed of slaking may be very fast. However, in Wang Lu's eyes, the speed of slaking was too slow. At this time, compared with Slaking's threat, he cares more about what the second daughter has done to him. Hongai is a little better, after all, he is already his own person, and the two of them are inseparable from each other. But he didn't expect that Mirong Shui could do this for herself. It seems that this girl still likes her very much deep in her heart, working. This is the thought. Wang Lu was a little moved in his heart, and at the same time using the teleport, his figure disappeared directly from the spot, and appeared in front of Mirongbai in an instant, stretched out his palm, and lightly touched Slaking. What Wang Lu used at this time was a soft force. As a trainer, Wang Lu doesn't bother to fight Pokémon directly even though he has extraordinary power. So, only one force is used. Even so, he still knocked the berserk Slaking back several steps. What? Behind Wang Lu, Mirongbai, Mirong Shui and Zhao Hongai couldn't believe it. Wang Lu, with a human body, turned out to be tough and violent Slaking, and won? Even if Wang Lu is the legendary wave guide hero, isn't it incredible? Zato. Compared with these three people, all the audience at the scene, including Tian Ye, are even more unbelievable. Is this guy still human? At this time, Tian Ye's eyes widened fiercely, like a pair of bells. Normal stared at Wang Lu stupidly, he was completely stunned. But at this time, Wang Lu directly sent Salamence out, kill it, use Dragon Breath. Today's Salamence has reached the 90th level champion level, and is also a legend level champion. At this time, the momentum on it is far stronger than the violent Slaking, and much more powerful. Roar! I saw Salamence roared, and sprayed out a jet of black dragon breath from his mouth, and the wolf blasted on Slaking's body. That berserk force directly sent Slaking flying. Afterwards, Slaking fell heavily to the ground and passed out completely. Kill in one hit. Between the two, there is no level at all. Hiss, how is this possible? Staring at Salamence stupidly, Tian Ye was full of disbelief. Only he himself knows how powerful his Slaking is after going berserk. Even though he is only an elite, even if he faces the champion of normal, he is still worthy. DJ. Facing this Flash Salamence in front of him, his Slaking was actually blocked? While Yetian was thinking about it, Salamence suddenly came in front of it. Its huge body was like a hill. Normal. Casting a large shadow on him. Gilu. Mountain-like pressure came over, and Ye couldn't help but swallowed a gulp of saliva, staring at the terrifying Salamence in front of him, his heart was extremely trembling. As the elite of the elite in the Black Pokémon organization, Tian has received the most rigorous training. Few things frightened him. But now, Salamence stared at him coldly with murderous eyes and admitted that he was scared. Not only was I scared, but I also peed. A strange smell spread from between his crotch. However, Salamence showed no sympathy at all. He raised his paw towards Tian Ye's head and slapped it hard. Yet Tian Ye fell down with lifeless eyes, and blood gushed out, staining the ground red. At this moment, even if Tian Ye is not dead, it is definitely useless. Not long after, Alliance guards came and took care of the matter. At the same time, also take away the field and Slaking. Master Wang Lu, this Tian is a first-level criminal of the Black Pokémon organization. Thanks to you, we are eliminating harm for the people. Before leaving, the guard captain personally thanked Wang Lu. To know. As a senior hall owner, Wang Lu is a senior member of Alliance, on the same level as the senior superintendent. For criminals, Wang Lu has the right to kill them first and punish them later. Just this identity makes Wang Lu act without any scruples. Certainly. As a wave guide warrior, Wang Lu also considers himself a righteous man. At least, he cannot use his power to make things difficult for ordinary people. Even Mirongbai failed to challenge, and then no one dared to challenge Wang Lu. For a while, more and more trainers are leaving the Shenlong Gym. Mirongbai and Mirong Shui, brothers and sisters, are also leaving. Mirong Shui looked at Wang Lu and said reluctantly, Wang Lu, I will be practicing in seclusion for the next month. We will see you at the Southern Alliance Conference in a month. Good. Wang Lu nodded 947 and watched Mirong Shui leave. Zhao Hongai looked in her eyes and didn't feel jealous. In her opinion, Wang Lu and Mirong Shui were a match made in heaven. The following few days, there are fewer and fewer trainers coming to challenge Shenlong Gym. After all, the Shenlong Gym is a newly opened gym. At the beginning, many trainers naturally came to challenge it. But now, this fresh energy has gradually passed. Also, as Zhao Hongai and Cao Lai become stronger and stronger, they can keep out most challengers. Wang Lu is happy and free. One night, Wang Lu started to challenge a new copy, Ice and Snow Island. White light flashed. Wang Lu appeared in a field of ice and snow. There were many ice-type Pokémon around. Snorant, Jinx, Ice-type Sandshrew, Ice-type Sand/House. Wang Lu was not interested in these ordinary Pokémon, so he headed deep into the snowy mountains. Not for a while. Wang Lu discovered an extremely huge cave in front. On both sides of the cave, there was a member of the Fire Rock team guarding each side. What the hell, Maxi, the boss of the Fire Rock team, hasn't been killed by me. Wang Lu complained in his heart. In his opinion, he has killed Maxi, the boss of the Fire Rock team, so the remaining members of the Fire Rock team should be disbanded. Chapter 172. Just when Wang Lu looked at the two members of the Fire Rock team, the two members of the Fire Rock team also noticed him at the same time. They frowned and yelled, "Where did this kid come from? It's really an eyesore, Might Hyena, use the Shadow Ball." There is a Might Hyena next to the two Fire Rock team members. Heard the words. The two Might Hyena fired Shadow Balls at the same time, hitting Wang Lu fiercely. However, those two Shadow Balls just approached. A blue barrier suddenly appeared around Wang Lu, and he blocked it easily. The two Huoyan team members were shocked when they saw that Wang Lu was unharmed. Big Red, come out to work, use Brick Break. Wang Lu sent out Da Hong, and with a flash of red light, Da Hong swiped two swords and easily killed the two Might Hyenas instantly. Today's Big Red is a legendary elite. The two Might Hyenas opposite are just level 65 gym leaders. Da Hong's strength is far ahead, and he is no longer in the same dimension. Naturally, he can kill instantly. What? What kind of Pokémon is that? A new breed. Looking at the completely unfamiliar Da Hong, the two members of the Fire Rock team couldn't help but exclaimed. Red, use Hurricane. Wang Lu gave an order, and Da Hong flapped his wings quickly, forming a hurricane that continuously hit the two members of the Fire Rock team. You know, in this ice and snow, hurricane is very deadly, and it directly turns into hurricane-shaped freezing wind. In a while, I saw that the two members of the Fire Rock team had completely turned into ice sculptures, cut off the breath of life. Wang Lu took back Da Hong and walked towards the cave. This cave is very large, and the inside of the cave is extremely wide. Even the vision is extremely bright. Not long after Wang Lu entered the cave, he soon heard a cry for help coming from the front. Wang Lu raised his eyes and swept forward. I saw a member of Team Fire ahead with Might Hyena, chasing an Ice Vulpix. Moreover, it is not an ordinary Ice Vulpix, but a Flash Ice Vulpix. The Flash Ice Vulpix's skin is still snow white, but there is still a faint layer of pink lingering around it. It's even cuter than the usual Ice Vulpix. However, at this time, it was being chased madly by Might Hyena and looked very embarrassed. When it saw Wang Lu, it ran towards Wang Lu and made an urgent cry for help. Ding! Congratulations to the host for triggering the temporary mission, saving Ice Vulpix, mission reward, Ice Power. As the system prompts sounded in his ears, Lu smiled slightly. Since it is Flash Ice Vulpix, Wang Lu will definitely not miss it. Now that it has triggered a temporary mission, it goes without saying. In just a moment, Bing Vulpix fled behind Wang Lu and hid. The Fire Rock team member and Might Hyena stopped in front of Wang Lu and stared at Wang Lu coldly. The member of the Fire Rock team stared at Wang Lu and threatened coldly, "Boy, I advise you to hand over that Ice Vulpix as soon as possible, otherwise, don't blame me for being rude to you." "Oh? How can you be rude to me?" Wang Lu smiled. Hearing this, the Fire Rock team member's eyes became colder, and he gave an order to Might Hyena beside him, "You don't know what is good, kill him Might Hyena, use the Shadow Ball." Ah! Might Hyena roared when she heard this, and instantly launched a Shadow Ball, hitting Wang Lu fiercely. But Wang Lu casually bounced the Shadow Ball away. This inhumane method made the member of the Fire Rock team tremble all over and was surprised. Electivire, use Thunder. Wang Lu directly sent Electivire out. Electivire, Golden Epic, level 82 Elite. Might Hyena, Orange Chosen, level 68 Hall Master. I saw. Electivire instantly released a bolt of thunder that struck the Might Hyena, killing it instantly with that violent force. Kill him. Wang Lu pointed at the stunned member of the Fire Rock team and ordered Electivire again. With a bang sound, Electivire fired another thunder, directly crushing the member of the Fire Rock team. At this moment, a pleasant system prompt sounded in Wang Lu's ears. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully completing the temporary mission and being rewarded with the power of ice. The power of ice was instantly born in Wang Lu's body, and merged with the other 5 divine powers to sublimate each other. Z. A total of 6 divine powers within Wang Lu's body have become stronger again, and the increase in each attribute has reached 60%. Woo! In addition to amplifying ice energy, the power of ice also comes with ice affinity. As for Bing Vulpix, who was rescued by Wang Lu and already had a good impression of Wang Lu, at this time, it became closer to Wang Lu obviously. At this time, it was constantly using its cute little head to dawdle on Wang Lu's trouser legs, looking very attached to Wang Lu. Wang Lu smiled slightly, knelt down and patted the little guy's head, then fed a rare candy, successfully subduing him. Ice Vulpix. Attribute, Ice. Level 43 Elite. Qualification Orange Selection. The little guy's level is already very high. But if Ice Vulpix wants to evolve into Ice Ninetales, it has nothing to do with the level, but needs an ice stone. In Wang Lu's hands, of course, there are also ice stones, and there are still 10 of them. However, Wang Lu did not choose to let the little guy evolve. Wang Lu is no longer lacking in combat power now, since the little guy is so cute, it is still not good to evolve for the time being. Wang Lu moved on with Electivire. Along the way, let Electivire kill all members of Fire Rock team that he meets. Soon, Wang Lu met the final boss. Sure enough, it's not Maxi. It can be seen that, at least in the copy of the system, Maxi has really died. Today, the new boss of the Huoyan team is a woman named Courtney. Wang Lu is quite impressive, this is a character in the comics. But it's useless, Wang Lu can't hold back just because the other party is a woman. Wang Lu, you killed Boss Maxi. Courtney roared, she actually knew Wang Lu, so it can be seen that the plot in this copy of the system, Nanyos, also has its own development. Immediately, Courtney sent out a Might Hyena. Her Might Hyena is tall, mighty, and imposing. I don't know how many times stronger than Might Hyena, an elite member of the Fire Rock team. Might Hyena. Attribute Evil. Level 80 Elite. Qualification Orange Selection. Courtney is worthy of being the new leader of the Fire Rock team, and he is indeed very strong, even casually dispatching an elite level Pokémon variant. Elite level Might Hyena is certainly very powerful. However, its intimidation has no effect on Wang Lu's Electivire at all. In fact, Electivire's aura at this time was even more powerful than Might Hyena's. Courtney didn't dare to be careless, and decided to play it safe, so she shouted, Might Hyena, use double team to confuse rival. Chapter 173. That Might Hyena's double team is very strong. In an instant, dozens of bodies were separated. It's hard to tell who is real and who is fake. If you were a normal person, you would definitely have a huge head at this time. However, Wang Lu possesses the power of Wave Guide, and he lock on Might Hyena's true form almost instantly. And Electivire has followed Wang Lu for so long. Even though Wang Lu does not have the so-called power of a thunder god or affinity with thunder, he still established a deep bond with Electivire. Today, Wang Lu and Electivire have already reached a state of spiritual connection. Therefore, at the moment when Wang Lu used the Wave Guide to lock on Might Hyena's true form, Electivire also lock on, and thunder and lightning flashed all over his body. Electivire is ready to launch a thunderbolt at any time to kill that Might Hyena. Might Hyena, use thunder. Electivire has experienced many battles and has now reached the status of elite. Even thunder, it can be easily controlled, and it can be instantly cast. It uses thunder, it uses thunderbolt, and the speed is pretty much the same. Because of this, it uses thunder, so there is no problem of low hit rate. This is elite. The vast majority of elites can easily control the ultimate mystery, Solation is instant, and can reduce the side effects to the limit. With Wang Lu's order, Electivire instantly released thunder, and among the crowd of Might Hyena's avatars, it accurately hit Might Hyena's main body. There was a bang sound. Might Hyena's body was scorched black, and she was instantly killed. And at this moment, dozens of its body also disappeared. What? How is this possible? Seeing that Might Hyena was directly killed, Courtney was stunned, staring at Wang Lu and Electivire, her beautiful eyes were full of disbelief. Bird Guide Brave. Courtney is also the new leader of the Fire Rock team, and he is quite knowledgeable. In an instant, he wanted to understand the mystery. Immediately, I felt regretful. If she knew that Wang Lu was the hero of Bird, how could she let Might Hyena use double team? Isn't that a gift? Come back to Might Hyena, go, Volcano Camel. Courtney immediately dispatched a second Pokémon. Volcano Camel. Attribute Fire plus Ground. Level 82 Elite. Qualification Orange Selection. Glancing at the volcano's attribute panel, Wang Lu nodded slightly, showing some respect. While taking back Electivire, Wang Lu sent Blastoise to appear. Totem Blastoise. Courtney is really well informed and knows the concept of totem Pokémon. Volcano Camel, Flamethrower. Courtney gave the order directly. AEE. Facing Blastoise, Courtney even used fire skills. It can be seen that she is very confident in the flamethrower of the Volcano Camel. To know. With the proficiency of a skill, Pokémon can not only increase the release speed of the skill, but also increase the power. Not to mention, this flamethrower is the native skill of the Volcano Camel, which comes with a 50% increase in power. Even if it hits Blastoise, the power will be halved. But Courtney believes that the power is still very strong. Faced with Courtney's attack, Wang Lu just smiled. Your Volcano's flamethrower is strong, as is the Blastoise's Hydro Pump. Your Volcano's flamethrower is a skill of this department, and my Hydro Pump of Blastoise is also a skill of this department. Not to mention, I still have the power of the Water God. Blastoise uses Hydro Pump, and the power will increase by 60. Not to mention, water overcomes fire, and the effect is outstanding. Blastoise, use Hydro Pump. Wang Lu gave the order and there was no doubt about the result. I saw Blastoise's Hydro Pump, destroying normal, instantly defeating the flamethrower, and then ruthlessly bombarded the Volcano Camel. The effect is outstanding, killing it instantly. Come back Volcano Camel, go, Electivire. Seeing the Volcano Camel fall, Courtney immediately took back the Volcano Camel, and at the same time sent a new Pokémon to the stage. Electivire. Attribute, Electricity. Level 78 Quasi-Elite. Orange choice. Haha, this time, is it just the Quasi-Master? Glancing at the attribute panel of the Electivire, Wang Lu smiled coldly. His Blastoise is an epic elite, even among the elites, it is an extremely powerful existence. And the Electivire on the opposite side only has the qualifications of the day, and the level is not high enough, let alone rival. Even if attribute is extremely beneficial, it is still useless. However, Courtney, had great confidence in her Electivire, waved her hand and shouted directly, Electivire, Thunderbolt. Use Rapid Spin. With Wang Lu's order, Blastoise Rapid Spin stood up, dancing a series of strong whirlwinds, and easily bounced the Thunderbolt away. What a scary Rapid Spin! Courtney was startled. Up, Blastoise, Body Slam! Wang Lu gave an order, and Blastoise suddenly stepped forward, like a small mountain, pressing down hard on Electivire, who looked horrified. Ah, Electivire! Blastoise's totem, extremely huge. That level of Titian pressure is obviously extremely powerful. Compared with the ordinary Blastoise's body slam, it is more than twice as powerful. When Electivire endures this body slam, it must be very painful. Courtney saw this and couldn't help but exclaimed in distress. Anyway, she does care about her Pokémon. However, if you are defeated by me, you will still die. Staring at Courtney's beautiful face and devilish figure, Wang Lu smiled coldly. Body slam is over. When Blastoise gets up, I saw that the poor Electivire was completely crushed into a meat pie, paralyzed on the ground, completely losing his ability to fight. Next, Courtney sent 3 more Pokémon in succession to challenge, but all failed. Wang Lu is like a mountain of normal, the impact is too strong for her to resist. After a 0-6 defeat, Courtney was extremely disappointed and despairing, and fell to her knees helplessly. Death. Wang Lu smiled disdainfully and prepared to kill him. After all, Courtney is the leader of the new generation of Fire Rock team. This kind of person, even a beautiful woman, will not die well. Sir, Master Wang Lu, please don't kill me. Courtney is wrong. From now on, Courtney will have nothing to do with the Fire Rock team. For the rest of her life, Courtney only wants to be by your side and at your disposal, Salation. Looking at Wang Lu's murderous eyes, Courtney's heart trembled, and Karen burst into tears. Wang Lu smiled in his heart. How could he believe such a little trick? Wang Lu was about to take action and killed Courtney. At this moment, a system prompt sounded in my ear. Ding! Congratulations to the host for exerting his overlord spirit and gaining Courtney's allegiance. This, isn't it? This is also okay. Wang Lu couldn't help but be stunned. He doesn't have to believe Courtney's words, but doesn't he even believe his own system? Chapter 174. The host can rest assured, Courtney worships the strong. Before, Groudon was Courtney's god. Right now, the host is Courtney's god. The system explained one after another. Wang Lu then understood. Now that Courtney has been completely loyal to himself, Wang Lu naturally doesn't have to kill him. Since merging with Zhao Hong'ai, Wang Lu knows the taste by eating marrow. Of course Wang Lu has his own principles, that is, as long as he is a bad person, a criminal. So in Wang Lu's eyes, there is no distinction between men and women. Now that Wang Lu has subdued Courtney, naturally he won't let Ji do bad things again. In this world, not only one bad guy was lost, Wang Lu, but also gained a. Come on, put this on. Wang Lu took out a black maid outfit from the system space and threw it on Courtney. This maid outfit. Wang Lu was originally prepared for his wife Zhao Hong'ai. Tonight, I hope to have a little more fun, and then deal with major events in life. Unexpectedly, now, it will come in handy in advance. This. Courtney grabbed the maid outfit, a blush suddenly flashed on her pretty face. She bit her lips shyly, made up her mind, and quickly changed into this black maid outfit. Yes, not bad. Wang Lu rubbed his chin and nodded. Courtney has a beautiful face and a graceful figure. Wearing a maid outfit at this time, the shy look on her face is really touching. Hey, the host really knows how to play. At this time, the sound of the system also sounded. By the way, the system, this Courtney, can I take it out? Wang Lu couldn't help asking. The system said, no, unless the host has a character card, otherwise, the characters the host tamed in the dungeon can only follow the host in the dungeon. Character card? What's that? Wang Lu asked. The system said, the character card can activate the character in the dungeon, and the host can summon it in reality. So that's the case, so what about the way to obtain character cards? Wang Lu asked again. The system said, in the dungeon, there is a certain chance of falling. Of course, the chance is very low. It is better for the host not to have too much hope. Really? Wang Lu smiled slightly, and did not agree with the system's words. After all, he has always believed in his own luck. After communicating with the system, Wang Lu looked at Courtney and asked, Courtney, your Fire Rock team came to this ice and snow island to capture Articuno, right? Yes, Master Wang Lu. Courtney nodded. No, don't call me your lord, you can call me your master. Wang Lu laughed. Courtney, master. Wang Lu nodded with satisfaction, then, you take me to find Articuno now. Courtney, okay, master. Under the leadership of Courtney, Wang Lu soon spotted Articuno on a huge ice rock. Articuno. Attribute, Ice plus Flying. Level 85 Elite. Qualification, Golden Legend. Master, be careful. This Articuno should be different from the Zapdos and Moltres captured by the Master. This is an adult beast. Courtney stretched out her small hand and grabbed Wang Lu's sleeve, and said solemnly. Wang Lu saw it in his eyes and was very satisfied in his heart. It seems that the system is not joking around, this Courtney, now really worships himself as a god, thinks of himself in everything, and worries about himself all the time. From a beautiful lady to her own personal, perfect maid. Hehe, is it an adult divine beast? In that case, let me show you what a real divine beast is. Wang Lu smiled slightly, took out an insulating ball and threw it out. Let's go, Zapdos. With a flash of golden light, Zapdos flew out instantly. It spread its wings and made a thunderous scream. I saw that Zapdos was rolling with lightning. It is full of momentum, like an abyss, like the sea, depressing and suffocating. Facing Zapdos, that Articuno wanted to growl, but in an instant, it froze. In the end, there was only a slight whimpering sound, as if Normal was crying out of fright. The ancestors of the three holy birds often get together. Their descendants are like distant relatives to each other, even if they fight against each other, they will never kill each other. However, at this time, Articuno looked at Wang Lu's Zapdos, as if he saw the ancestor of Zapdos. That is equivalent to its half-ancestor, naturally dare not make mistakes. Master, what is your Zapdos? Looking at Zapdos and feeling the terrifying aura on Zapdos, Courtney's heart trembled and he was completely stunned. Well, my Zapdos has reached the level of a real beast. Wang Lu smiled slightly, released the power of ice, and waved towards Articuno over there. A real beast level? What kind of realm is that? Courtney's heart skipped a beat. Then, she looked at Wang Lu's movements and suddenly smiled, Master, Courtney doesn't mean to disrespect you, but Articuno is a legendary Pokémon and can you easily summon it? However, as soon as she finished speaking, her beautiful eyes widened. Damn it! The owner just waved casually, and the Articuno flew over? My god, you are the legendary beast, the legendary Articuno. Don't you want to lose face? Seeing Wang Lu casually recruiting Articuno to his side, he stroked the feathers on Articuno very solation. However, Articuno still had an expression of enjoying himself and wanting to stop. Looking at the scene in front of him, Courtney seemed to be astonished, unbelievable. Oh my god, my master is really a genius, he can subdue the legendary beast so easily. No wonder, the Huoyan team fell into the hands of the master several times. Compared to the master, the leader of Maxi, that Maxi is nothing at all. Courtney healed himself and looked at Wang Lu with a wink. At this time, Courtney's admiration for Wang Lu has reached a terrifying level. At this time, she is willing to do anything for Wang Lu. Even, willing to die for Wang Lu. How about it, little guy, would you like to come with me? Wang Lu gently stroked the feathers on Articuno's head and asked with a smile. Wang Lu's divine power, although not as good as Zapdos, has not reached the level of a god, but it has also reached the level of a demigod. The power of ice on his body is extremely powerful, on the same level as the first level ice god, or even better. For all ice-type Pokémon, it has a strong affinity, and the first level god regards it as the same kind, brother. The second level gods and the third level gods regard them as elders, even ancestors. As for the ordinary ice-type Pokémon, let's not talk about it. Facing Wang Lu's invitation, Articuno was very excited and nodded without hesitation. Wang Lu smiled slightly, took out the 0-degree ball, and successfully subdued Articuno. Chapter 175 Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno 20. Wang Lu has captured all the three holy birds, and there is also a fighting Zapdos Big Red. Plus Mewtwo, Celebi, and the red and blue plains. Now, Wang Lu already owns 8 mythical beasts, 8 legendary Pokémon. And Salamence, Beedrill-Aken, and the Great Dragon. Although these 3 are not divine beasts in the traditional sense, their bloodline strength is no less than that of divine beasts in the traditional sense, and they are at the legendary level. These 11 Pokémon are the essence of Wang Lu. If all of them were released, it would definitely be a terrifying scene. Among them, Zapdos and Mewtwo are the best. Especially Mewtwo, 9-colored mythology, talent, aptitude, and bloodline strength are too scary. Before reaching the realm of gods, he has mastered the 377 domain in advance, and its combat power can be called the ceiling under the domain of gods. Once it reaches the regular full level of level 100, the domain will be directly upgraded to reach the realm of the domain of gods. When that time comes, even Zapdos will definitely not be its rival. Not to mention that it also carries Mewtwo's XY evolution stone. Certainly. Mewtwo is Mewtwo after all, too arrogant. Even if Wang Lu subdues it, and Wang Lu's psychic comes with super affinity, the bond between the two has not yet reached the standard. Wang Lu still has not been able to reach the state of spiritual connection with it. Even if Mewtwo carries a stone, and it is a 2-in-1 super grade stone, Wang Lu has no way to psychic. On the contrary, Mewtwo does not need him as a master. He can respond to the stone and carry out mega evolution independently by relying on his own will. This is Mewtwo. It can actually achieve that level by itself. But as the master, Wang Lu was somewhat embarrassed, so Lu had not deliberately raised Mewtwo's level. Wang Lu wants to spend more time with it, and when both parties have a spiritual connection, he can help Mewtwo reach the realm of the gods in one fell swoop. Mewtwo, 9 Colors Myth, Level 93 Champion. Zapdos, Golden Legend, Level 101 God's Domain. Moltres, Golden Legend, Level 85 Elite Factory. Articuno, Golden Legend, Level 85 Elite. Celebi, Golden Legend, Level 85 Elite. Big Red, Golden Legend, Level 80 Elite. Latios, Golden Legend, Level 76 Quasi Elite. Latias, Golden Legend, Level 4 Quasi Elite. Salamence, Golden Legend, Level 92 Champion. Drill, Golden Legend, Level 82 Elite. Ancient Pterosaur, Golden Legend, Level 80 Elite. Electivire, Golden Epic, Level 85 Elite. Dragonite, Golden Epic, Level 82 Elite. Rapidash, Golden Epic, Level 80 Elite. Haxorus, Golden Epic, Level 80 Elite. Blastoise, Golden Epic, Level 80 Elite Town. Ice Vulpix, Orange Choice, Level 43 Elite. After clearing the Ice Island, a new copy was opened underground volcano. Wang Lu went directly to challenge. With a flash of white light, Wang Lu appeared in the underground volcano, with rocks burned red by magma under his feet. As far as the eye can see, there are grey volcano mouths everywhere. One of them has a volcano mouth, and it's even smoking. The air here is also very hot, which makes people breathless and sweats profusely. As Wang Lu came to the underground volcano, Courtney soon appeared, wearing a black maid outfit, fanning the wind with her small hands constantly, dripping with sweat. On the contrary, Wang Lu looked as usual. In this environment, not only did he not feel hot, but he also had a very warm feeling. There was not even a drop of sweat all over his body. Courtney couldn't help being very envious. Master, aren't you afraid of the heat? Wang Lu shook his head with a smile. He has the power of Vulcan to protect his body, so how could he be afraid of heat? Master, since following you, I am no longer the leader of the Huoyan team, and the Huoyan team has a new leader. His name is Blaze, and he used to be the big three of Fire Rock, along with me and Flame. But Blaze has always been the strongest of the big three, and has won the trust of the original leader, Maxi. The goal of the Fire Rock team is to first capture some low-level beasts and cultivate them, and finally conquer Groudon. Use the power of Groudon, the god of land, to expel the ocean and turn the world into a continental world. The original leader Maxi, me and Lian all failed. Because of the owner's obstruction, we didn't capture any of the beasts. But Blaze succeeded. Over the years, he has captured 3 low-level beasts, Articuno, Suicune, and Nightmare God Darkrai. Based on the potential of those 3 divine beasts, coupled with Blaze's years of training, I believe that the strength of those 3 divine beasts has reached an astonishing level. And during the period when the master was away, I sneaked into the Fire Rock team and found that they came to this underground volcano, trying to subdue Groudon. Courtney finished in one breath. Then, he looked at Wang Lu respectfully, waiting for Wang Lu's instructions. Wang Lu was slightly taken aback. He conquered Courtney, originally just wanting to raise her as a maid. Unexpectedly, she developed into an existence similar to the system Pokémon in online games. So that Wang Lu has just arrived at this dungeon and already has a basic understanding of this dungeon, including the plot that will develop next. Wang Lu nodded and walked forward with Courtney. This underground volcano has a hot environment and many fire Pokémon have settled here. Such as Slugma, Magcargo, Torkoal, Numel, and Volcano Camels, etc. And this underground volcano does not seem to be a forbidden place. At this time, in addition to Wang Lu and Courtney, there are many trainers here who practice or catch fire Pokémon. The combination of Wang Lu and Courtney, a handsome man and beautiful woman, instantly attracted the attention of countless people around them. In particular, Courtney is wearing a maid suit. This made all the male trainers look at Wang Lu with jealousy. Why does that boy have such a beautiful maid? If 0.6 is a girlfriend, it's better. It's just a maid, it's too enviable. At this time, a blonde young man came over immediately. He ignored Wang Lu and smiled at Courtney, who considered himself a gentleman, and said, "This beautiful lady, with your beautiful appearance, you don't need to do anything at all. Man's maid. If you are willing to associate with me, I am willing to dedicate everything I have to you." Finished talking. He looked at Courtney with a smile, waiting for Courtney's answer. He thought Courtney would say yes to her. After all, there is a noble princess on one side and a lowly maid on the other. He believed that Li Mi would make the right choice. However, Courtney's beautiful purple eyes flashed and she said coldly, "Sorry, I'm not interested. To me, everything you have is not as precious as a hair on my master's body."